And he took the damsel by the hand and said unto her, Talitha cumi, which is, being interpreted, damsel, I say unto thee, arise. Wake up! Wake up! Talitha cumi. Talitha cumi. Wake up! Wake up!
Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek.
Yo, resurrected, elected from the grave. I ain't worried about a demon defeat me, not today. I'ma stand on my feet with the meek. We on the way. Dry bones in the valley. I'm rallying for the sage. Dry bones in the valley. Living but underpaid. Holy Spirit, make your presence known. We need change. Holy Spirit, make your presence known. We feel shame. Holy Spirit, make your presence known. We need flames.
The hardest, these words is simply just the canvas that I wrote on. Can't supplement the faith. No creatine, but it's so strong. In our youth, we used to hit the block, getting our roll on. Now we take the gospel to the blocks we so dope on. Those that tried to stop our faith, we told them so long. The rise of my people with these heathens trying to prolong. Been through so much, but we still gotta hold on. Like back when the lights was off, we turned the stove on. Searching for warmth in these cold streets. Oh, since we woke up the truth, we can't get no sleep. My thoughts so deep, trying to get my folks to see the picture, but we hitting rock bottom, trying to wrestle with the scriptures. It's crazy, demonic forces messing with your mental health. Got all 5 senses, but you still lack sense of self. Without the Lord, your life sagging, gon' get a belt. And like that old Jordan commercial, stop and get some help.
Please, W-A-K-E-U-P, open up your KJV. We shaking up the world so you can't stay asleep. When you open up your eyes, they see IUIC, we on our grind. Bring a light to the world, let a star shine. So we pray without ceasing for our kind. Gotta stack them up to the third heaven till we give Raphael a hard time.
Dead bodies, dead conscience, dead presidents, they said commas. But that's a coma, ain't it evident that's head trauma. They said a lot, but that's irrelevant. The devil been working overtime without the scheduling, the medicine prescribed. That's the word of my God. You'll never be alive unless you let the spirit inside. Vampires throw the shade on them, but daywalkers keep the blade on them. Get cut to the core, but never fade on them. Live again.
Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek.
Thank you for the love and the joy that you bring. Thank you for the mercies and for everything. Thank you for the unity of all my brethren.
Everybody, let's sing. Praise the Lord and let's sing. Thank you for the love and the joy that you bring. Thank you for the mercies and for everything. Thank you for the unity of all my brethren. Everybody, let's sing. Praise the Lord and let's sing. Pass over at the 12th anniversary. When our righteousness we are rehearsing. The Most High God bless us from the curses. Only a remnant of Israel the chosen. So if you like them, get is confusing. Nothing no laws you like, you will be losing. If you know they like the people in the churches, they want to hear all the advice of the person. Thank you for the love and the joy that you bring. Thank you for the mercies and for everything. Thank you for the unity of all my brethren. Everybody, let's sing. Praise the Lord and let's sing. Thank you for the love and the joy that you bring. Thank you for the mercies and for everything. Thank you for the unity of all my brethren. Everybody, let's sing. Praise the Lord and let's sing. Let's exalt our God, cause he's so fantastic. It's due unto him like Caesar does taxes. He's glorious in power, superb and majestic. His greatness is absolutely outstanding. A witness to the world when he freed us from bondage. He sent his messengers to teach us how to practice his holy days, so no heathen can't stop this. Turn up the beat on the speakers and blast this. Thank you for the love and the joy that you bring. Thank you for the mercies and for everything. Thank you for the unity of all my brethren. Everybody, let's sing. Praise the Lord and let's sing. Thank you for the love and the joy that you bring. Thank you for the mercies and for everything. Thank you for the unity of all my brethren. Everybody, let's sing. Praise the Lord and let's sing. The uttermost praises to the Most High is the Ancient of Days, the maker of human race and creator of this place. In this place of their enemies, God knowledge was erased. All the brains of my people which were taken as slaves. Because of our sins we were not able like Cain. Now the laws of God make us labelize again. Straight up out the graves, he gave us life again. So never hesitate to give praises to his name.
Stop all that looking around, all this facing looking at the ground. This why you lack understanding, my dude. Cause you keep nothing the Father say do when it goes down. That's right. When the sun come back, just remember right now. You had a chance, but you turned that chance down. Grace is that time that we had to repent. Turn to the law, turn away from the sin. 1 John 3 and 4. Cause sin is the trust against the law. We never noticed, cause we never known us. They kept it from us to remain our owners. When Christ he come back, he gon' put us in order. The heathen remain, we gon' work him and goes down. When it goes down. When it goes down. When it goes down. Scriptures got me on a high. Yeah, this is one hell of a ride. I just took a look on my side. I just remember when I was so spiritually blind. Now hold now. Revelations 13 and 10. Precept that with Isaiah. Chapter 14, verse 1 and 2. Listen up and I'll show you through. Obadiah 15 and 10. Write it down, meditate on it. Cause I ain't saying it again. Better wake up. Crunch time, it's time to wake up. Put that weed down, put that book up. It's time to man up. Before it goes down. When it goes
Yeah, wartime ain't no playtime, better hold the line. Boots lace, got my sword sharp, precepts on my mind. Bring it out, this a people rob, yeah, you know they blind. Bring it out when you hear shofars, yeah, it's wartime. Talk the war, this was something we didn't know. We was bound for 100 years, now it's something that we know. All the nations, they have fear, cause the Bible now we know. Ain't no doubt, what we know we bout. Swords is coming out. War, I taught you war, though you knew nothing thereof. I gave you swords, before knew nothing thereof. You've risen up to take control of this world. You've risen up, now in the war you become. I taught you war, though you knew nothing thereof. I gave you swords, before knew nothing thereof. You've risen up to take control of this world. You've risen up, now in the war you become.
Wartime will my watch say, watch and pray these the end of days. Spare not and don't trim your ways. Fear the Lord God and give him praise. The battle's his and already won through the Father, Son. Victory is come as it is in heaven. Let it be done here on earth when the kingdom come. Psalm chapter 144. Blessed be the Lord that teach my hand to war. Yeah, the word of God cuts like a sword. Imagine all of us on one accord, not breaking rank. Joel 2:7. This is our heaven, all of our blessings, all of our wisdom, all of our lessons, all our war tactics. This is our weapon. This is our strength. This is our power. There's a time for war, this is our hour, and the Lord God's our strong tower. They devoured us and shall be devoured. Jeremiah 30 verse 16. Look at all the scripture you find when you read Revelation chapter 1 and 3. War, T-I-M-E.
War, I taught you war, though you knew nothing thereof. I gave you swords, before knew nothing thereof. You've risen up to take control of this world. You've risen up, now in the war you become. I taught you war, though you knew nothing thereof. I gave you swords, before knew nothing thereof. You've risen up to take control of this world. You've risen up, now in the war you become.
People wanna know who we are. They don't understand the growth to get where we are. We travel the world, cross 7 seas to get to the ones who need this. Don't really care what happens to us, making sure what we do fulfill. Issues we dealt with, roadblocks that we meant to keep us down. But you know that soon the fire's gonna come down. I hope you're ready to go into the field. Angels activated and they not gon' chill. Holding forwards until the last is sealed. Are you ready? Don't you fret, don't you cry. We gon' lose some loved ones, alright. But you know that they ain't gonna rise.
Yeah. We're only as strong as our weakest. Unity. Yeah. One body, one mind. One mind, one spirit. One spirit, one mind. Gotta make the world feel it. One body, one mind. One mind, one spirit. One spirit, one mind. Gotta make the world feel it. One body, one mind. One mind, one spirit. One spirit, one mind. Gotta make the world feel it. Feel it. Gotta make the world feel it. Feel it. Yeah. Gotta make the world feel it.
One body, one mind, one spirit, one grind. From the toes up the spine, you can take the climb, you gon' find that you're divine. See the curses be the signs, gotta read between the lines, this the last times. My kind in the blind, exposing the line, I'm tired of seeing ninja dime. When we locked in this truth, they can't disconnect the root. IUIC be the proof, front line full of troops. Winning souls give the boost, heathens don't know what to do. Drag the demons by the tooth, brethren strapping up the boots. Ain't no more living seduced, we hand salute to Christ get set loose.
One body, one mind. One mind, one spirit. One spirit, one mind. Gotta make the world feel it. One body, one mind. One mind, one spirit. One spirit, one mind. Gotta make the world feel it. One body, one mind. One mind, one spirit. One spirit, one mind. Gotta make the world feel it. Feel it. Gotta make the world feel it. Feel it. Yeah. Gotta make the world feel it.
What you heathens gonna do? No silver writing with this pen or jumping through hoops. We make the world feel the truth. That's the motto. Dressed in all color purple, you can call me Hoppo. Keep laws you can folk. The equation is simple. Lost times repentance. 144, I'm with it. Strong skin like bison. Get knocked out like Tyson. Christ came and they falling down. He ain't even fighting.
One body, one mind. One mind, one spirit. One spirit, one mind. Gotta make the world feel it. One body, one mind. One mind, one spirit. One spirit, one mind. Gotta make the world feel it. One body, one mind. One mind, one spirit. One spirit, one mind. Gotta make the world feel it. Feel it. Gotta make the world feel it. Feel it. Yeah. Gotta make the world feel it.
Gotta make the world feel it. Can't contain my spirit. I feel so special. I think I'm mental. Physically, I'm present. Spiritually, I'm gifted. Patient on the Lord's sacrifice.
And we don't need no pictures.
Cause that's the day that the Lord's coming. He coming back like behind your stomach. So much bars to get cards from it. See the fringes, but no touching. One mind, one Lord. One mind, one Lord. Heathens ain't off the hook. And I ain't talking no chorus.
One body, one mind. One mind, one spirit. One spirit, one mind. Gotta make the world feel it. One body, one mind. One mind, one spirit. One spirit, one mind. Gotta make the world feel it.
One body, one mind. One mind, one spirit. One spirit, one mind. Gotta make the world feel it. Feel it. Gotta make the world feel it. Feel it. Yeah. Gotta make the world feel it.
One God, guys, born kings, born gods, born kings, born gods, I'm not a slave. Born a king, I'm not a slave. Born gods, I'm not a slave. Born a king, I'm not a slave. Born gods, I'm not a slave. Come back to your righteous state, this whole world gon' pass away.
Yeah. This ain't music, this the anthem. When the Lord take Egypt for ransom. I'm black like obsidian, but comely and handsome. Militant like black leather, black boots and them panthers. This is like Moses in the midst of the sea, carving a path. Elijah, summoning fire to burn the chaff. The waves of sense combined with the jaw of an ass. Skin like brass, shadow whole kingdoms like glass. His boots the grass and pavement. We mighty like the troops of David, we the saviors. Drip king, son of the earth, we got the flavor. The Skywalker mastered the force and lightsaber. Wisdom caused my face to shine. I look amazing. Greatness when it comes to the scripts, I keep grazing. When a God speak, it's fire straight blazing. Everything you see is mine and we gon' take it. Sons of God versus whoever is finna be crazy.
Born kings, born gods, born kings, born gods, born kings, born gods, born kings, born gods, I'm not a slave. Born a king, I'm not a slave. Born gods, I'm not a slave. Born a king, I'm not a slave. Born gods, I'm not a slave. Come back to your righteous state, this whole world gon' pass away.
Go. When I said that I'm a God, they cock their head, look at me sideways. They thinking that they're not the one on top, but this is our place. If my father is God, the one and no one can stand beside it, who am I? Tell me what that make me. You are what your father is, so I was born a God, I'm still a king. I see through the lies, I know that they lied about everything. My people hating themselves of a nation that's selling dreams. You trying to be more like them while they stealing your everything. Why do you feel like you nothing when you really royalty? You the salt of the earth, but they try to reduce you to selling weed. And you get caught inside the system for trying to support family. They left no options as far as you knew, but I knew what it was. Time ticket bills due, and I knew what you selling for. But I want you to know that you a king, cause I've been there before. You ain't gotta follow that route, keep the laws and you'll be restored. You ain't gotta do nothing shady, been a guy since you was born.
Born gods, born kings, born gods, born kings, born gods, born kings, born gods.
It's that time again.
Hour Plus.
Ya es la hora. You know, Power Hour. Ponle atención, classes in session. Tune in for an hour, maybe more, that's a blessing. Learn from the captains and the leadership. Flee from religion, cause them churches never teaching shit. Everything you learn for your benefit. Line upon line is a requisite. Never take a deficit, yeah. That mean you take a loss if you stray from the way. You get the understanding if you study every day. Apply what you learn and bless when you pray. There's one interpretation, man, it's say what it say. Ya venía el tiempo, entra para el templo. Aprende del maestro con talento. La Biblia es el centro, usando a Israel como instrumento. No te pierdas en doctrina como viento. Estudia y ora y aplica. Tiempo para Dios, ven, hace una cita. Escritura dinamita, morenos y hispanos israelitas. Oye cómo explica Israel unido en Cristo para la vida. Nunca se divida. Tune in, it's the Power Hour. Learn your family history, don't be a coward. Yeah. Tune in, it's the Power Hour. I said learn your family history, don't be a coward.
Yeah, history to learn. It's the Power Hour. You'll never hour. Tune in to your history. You know it in history. Power Hour. You'll never hour. You gonna get to history. You'll never hour.
Rockin' with the deacon while you waiting on the weekend. From the tribe of Ethan with the home Puerto Rican. That's a byword, those ain't names, it's God-given. Fighting from oppression and saving all guys, chilling, giving light to the people. Don't let the devil beat you when you have at your disposal all these leaders that can teach you how to fight fornication, eat in moderation, correcting all these marriages and self-examination. All these different topics getting covered plus a lot more. You probably sleeping if you thinking this is not war. All these different topics getting covered plus a lot more. Just tune in and we gon' tell you what to watch for. Yeah, the Power Hour. You know, it's the Power Hour. Yeah, the Power Hour. Yeah.
Shalom, shalom. Welcome to the Power Hour Plus.
Yeah.
Yep.
I am Deacon Joshua.
I am Officer Job.
Officer Ruvain. Yeah, it was kind of different.
Oh, it's Tobias.
No, okay.
Why Joe being all mellow?
Right.
I
thought I was the only one who caught that.
No, that's
okay.
When I'm on this show.
He's next
I'm
to the
right
rhino
next
today.
to you, bro.
Right,
the
yeah,
rhino?
yeah, that's
Cram
what
in
it
the
is.
rhino?
Cram in the rhino. Cram in the rhino. Cram. No, don't show.
Oh, no.
That's the inside joke.
Oh,
That's the
man.
inside. Those who know. Man, why we got 209 watching and only 113 likes?
Come on.
Like when you come in, you know how like you take your shoes off
Yeah.
or you hang your keys or you put your bag down?
Yeah.
Like when you come into the crib, when you come into the PHP crib,
That's it.
hit the like.
Come on.
Come on.
Hit the like and the share.
Hey, push
you know
the
what I'm
button.
saying? Like push the button, right? This should be your routine when you come to the show because I know everybody come in, right, and they jam into the music,
right,
while we get cracking, right?
Right.
People, commenting what's up in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
You should come in.
Yep.
When you open up your tabs, right? Some of you might do it from the phone, but if you're on your computer, open up your tabs. You should have your Facebook, your Insta. Can you share on TikTok? I don't have a TikTok. I refuse.
Yeah, I won't do it. That's not me.
I refuse.
Why?
Because I heard that algorithm has the devil in it.
So does Instagram.
And it makes
it's an abyss.
And it just people just don't do nothing because they just TikTok.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So I don't mess with it. Bro, speaking of which, and then I've been locked out of my Facebook like
From
since
Facebook or just because you
from
forgot the
Facebook since
password?
like Saturday. So like I went to log into like a different one and I logged out and then I don't know, it's just all jacked up. So like my authenticator app's not working.
Oh no.
Damn.
And then Facebook doesn't have people you could talk to. So I've just been in like this vicious loop of trying to get into my Facebook.
Right.
And it's egging me because I have all like my fitness and recipes, like my pizza, my barbecue, my grilling and all that. You know, like I don't be posting on Facebook and I don't really like chat with nobody on Facebook, but I watch my stuff on Facebook.
Right.
And I can't get in.
Dang.
Bro, ChatGPT can't help me.
And that's connected to like everything, right?
No, so now it's not
okay.
gonna affect that. No.
Okay, all right.
That's
all right.
that I could get into that one.
Okay.
Just fine.
But the other one though.
The other one, which for me, like that's my like you know how some people be on TikTok or Insta a lot? Like my thing is like Facebook. Like I'm still a Facebook guy.
Me too. Because we're old. We do Facebook.
Me too.
Yeah.
So, you know, and it knows what reels to recommend to me and whatever.
Right.
You know, I got like certain groups that I follow in there that I have like a history with. And now I can't even get in there.
Dang, you locked out.
Yeah, I got to get in.
You locked up. They won't let you out.
I'm not trying to make a new one. I'm just trying to figure out. I don't know if anybody could help me if they're gonna do it. I'm in a 2-factor loop, so I can't.
Damn.
I can't.
Oh,
I can't
man.
send an SMS.
He had your
It'll
thing
let me
saved?
reset the password, and it'll send me codes to my email. But then when I go to log in, it 2-factors me.
Damn.
What's the other factor then?
Only authenticator app.
Oh, it's over with.
And it's not working. So I tried this. I finally got through where you could send a ID and the selfie video.
Yeah.
But on my IDs, I don't have a beard. So I think it's denying the selfie video.
Stop it. They trying to get you to go back to.
So I'm going to have to go and get the real ID so that I can upgrade my photo.
Yeah, okay.
So that it matches. Because that's not a person. I think everything's AI, their customer service.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
So the AI thinks that my ID and me are not the same person.
Well, I mean.
That's another MBD testimony.
I mean, for real.
Come on now.
Beard so full, you can't even get into your doggone Facebook account.
No, so then I was looking at the ID picture and I'm like, damn, like you know it's me.
But do you
like even like my face is slimmer.
Yeah.
So like it's just different.
Yeah, it don't look like you.
Nah,
It don't.
And then I'm doing the selfie video, you know, you gotta do this. And It's like, oh, you see his beard everywhere.
Man, golly.
It's looking for your jawline.
Man.
You can't find it.
That's what it is, I think. Because it has you look up and it can't see my jawline.
Because of that beard.
Yeah. And my passport picture's so old too, so I can't use that.
Because you didn't have no beard.
Right. I don't know. It said you could use a marriage certificate, and I don't have a picture, so maybe I don't see how that would work though.
You could have printed that out off of ChatGPT. But
Damn.
okay, if it works.
Well, I did it 2 times, and now I can't get it back. So that's the weird thing. Like sometimes it pops us as an option, and sometimes it hasn't popped up as an option for days. It popped up today, and I only did it twice, and I can't.
What if you do an incognito?
Oh, like go incognito on the browser?
Yeah,
I might try that.
Yeah, try that.
Try something.
It's frustrating
because you clearly didn't say your password.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Okay. Damn it.
Yeah, man. So I'm pissed off.
Good problems to have. Full beard.
Yeah, I mean,
come on now,
man.
It's an MBD segue.
I don't know. You want to segue it?
So you heard it here first, brethren. Hey, do we?
No, I don't want to make a new page. But this stuff I've been there's a history.
Right.
Like Facebook knows me.
That thing probably got like 15 years on it at least.
Facebook knows me. I don't engage. They call it social media, but I don't engage with y'all on social media.
Y'all don't trigger Deacon. He's triggered.
Connection, man.
This is like you might need to make a new one. No, I don't accept friend requests anymore.
Right.
You're there.
No new friends.
Like I gotta know you. Like I don't even check them. I don't check my messenger. None of that.
Yeah.
They cap that anyways.
I don't check none of that because you be adding people. And then people bug out.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean, you gotta.
Yeah.
I know.
Man. But as we were saying, look at Deacon's beard. Put the camera on Deacon.
It's already on him.
All praises. Guess what? That right there is MBD in the making. He's not. That's right. Hey, he's not only the CEO, but he's also a client.
Right.
Of the manly badge of dignity.
Come on now.
You know, we need a before to show the true,
I know who got the picture.
This should already.
Who got the picture should have been up
the
there
life
already.
Testimony is
What's
like
happening?
evident.
Oh my
right in front of
goodness.
us.
But we gonna continue to skip on. I'm gonna go to my brother over here. What's the sin of the day?
Let's see what we got. Cedar, leather, vanilla.
Cedar, leather, vanilla.
I should do it like Officer
Leather.
Cedar.
Leather. Okay.
Vanilla.
Man. What you, sir? You work the MBD? I have to ask.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pray.
Some people aren't beard people, so.
Yeah, some people aren't beard people, so you know.
This seat has been filled with a beard person.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. What you rocking?
Damn, he was
tonight?
intense.
I
He
know,
crammed
I saw-
it.
He crammed the shit out of it.
Monogamy.
Come on now.
Mahogany spice. Okay, all right. I'm gonna help. I gotta help.
My wife,
Monogamous.
Hey, my wife. I said that word. My wife was like, "What do you say?"
Monogamous commitment. I said that's a new sin.
Monogamy.
I said that's a new sin.
Man, for real.
What does that smell like?
Man.
She's like, "Are you sure it's
What does that
monogamy?"
fragrance?
Does it smell like the face mask she put on at night?
Dang, with the crew combo.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Like, what?
I knew I was gonna struggle with that word.
What does the monogamy sin smell like?
What is that?
It smells good though.
No, it does. Mahogany
I
spices.
actually like it.
I haven't tried it.
Yeah, you gotta get
You
it.
got the bottle?
I didn't bring it this time.
You gotta bring it next time.
Yeah, it's real good.
Yeah, I want to try it.
Deke, what you holding over there?
Classic barbershop.
Classic.
Ooh, classic.
You normally come in here with a classic barbershop. That's like your go-to, ain't it?
No, I haven't worn it in a long time.
That's my go-to.
That's
That's my go-to.
y'all
That's
are almost.
his
Oh,
go-to.
y'all. Okay, got it.
Look,
I'm
just because he
confused.
copied my haircut don't
Right,
mean that.
that's what it is.
Damn.
And the beard, and he got the
This
beard.
is- it's
His
a-
beard is interlocked now.
Covet earnestly the best gifts. That's
He-
why the
he-
beard done grown.
I mean,
trying
look
to
at it. Look at Toby. With Toby is.
Yeah, Toby's beard.
It's true. He be giving me props like with a lot of stuff that I be sharing with y'all. That
Yeah.
I just want a portion.
he be
If I
trying
get
to
it.
he be trying to pick some of that
Like-
stuff. Up.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
the portion I'm taking from you, Deke, is I've been snatching all your meals that you've been posting. Like
Word?
It's like common sense. It's like your sensei's showing you exactly what to do with the macros, and people is not taking. I'm like, hey, babe, snapshot it, make this happen.
Bro, and like, and since I'm locked out of Facebook, I'm not even doing any of my recipes.
Damn.
Like that's just off the top where I'll get just creative.
Yeah,
You're surgical with that, man.
Yeah.
Precise.
Yeah.
Bro, how he hits those protein
Yes.
goals within 12,
I don't know how
1,700 calories.
That's
crazy
crazy.
work.
I don't get it.
Crazy work.
It's hard
I'm
to get
serious.
it.
I'm flabbergasted.
It's hard to get it with 2,700 calories.
I gotta hit like 187 protein.
I'm around 15.
I'd be like
16.
120, 130.
Just keep it lean. It's not
That's
that
it.
hard.
That's it.
It's not that hard. Chicken breast, chicken tenders, lean ground beef, lean steak. Although if you do the lean ground beef, I can only go 93 Maybe 94. Anything above that, like they got a 97 lean. It's like
Dry.
it's like
ridiculous. I had that one.
even
time.
with sauce, bro, it's terrible.
Damn.
Like you sauce it,
You
think
can't
you
even
do
sauce
something.
it up.
That man, it's bad, bro. Like the 3%. Bro, you ever had the 99 turkey?
Nah.
Ground
I did a
turkey?
93 turkey.
No, the 99 ground turkey, bro, is horrendous, bro.
Yeah.
Damn.
It sounds it.
It tastes like cardboard.
It sound like it.
You know, like if I crumbled cardboard,
Yeah.
that's what the 1% fat
With some
ground
taste, with
turkey.
some sauce on it.
Even with sauce, bro, it's
Damn.
horrible.
It tastes like that, or it feels like that?
It feels like it and it tastes like it. I imagine that's what it would taste like. I've never eaten no cardboard, but like you know how cardboard smells?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
how it tastes.
Oh damn it. Oh damn it.
Yeah, I can't mess with it too lean. So like, you know, if you do 93.7, for example, if I'm doing like a 93.7, even like on a steak, and I do 2 servings of it, so I get like 8 ounces, it's like 16 grams of fat. I mean, it's like 48 grams of protein, but it's like 16 grams of fat.
Right.
And if I'm trying to stay 20, 30 fat, that's like half my fat for the day.
Right.
So then like days I do that, I got to kind of throw a shake or 2 in there. But I usually, sometimes I can hit it without a shake. I just, you know, veggies have some protein.
Right.
Those fiber wraps have some protein. Fat-free cheeses.
Those the egg white wraps that
Egg whites is the key, bro.
man.
Like if you can master the egg white,
That's the one.
Between you and Silver
and then I got them taste flavor cold sauces. So you could throw like they have a hot honey sriracha, or if you want barbecue, you know, sugar-free ketchup is real low carb.
I don't know if I can.
I've been actually making my own.
So I don't know. I like ketchup on my eggs. It's like a Ephraim thing. Like Puerto Ricans like ketchup on a lot of stuff.
mustard.
Ketchup on rice, ketchup on chicken, ketchup on steak.
I've been making all these different
Not
sauces.
every steak, but like
Sauces with the
It ain't
cottage
ranch,
cheese,
though.
with
Yeah.
the ranch.
So
the
yeah,
sriracha.
yeah.
That
So
thing is on
Greek
point.
yogurt with seasonings.
Yup.
So you can ranch it up with the Greek yogurt. That's extra protein. It's not.
Yup.
It's really not that hard.
It's not.
It's really not that hard.
It's on point.
It's that you want the bad stuff, and that's what makes it hard.
This
Damn
is-
it.
Hey, 2 days off soda, having withdrawals, but I'm there. We in there.
You know what? I'm gonna give you that too, because you a fiend for some
Bruh,
doggone.
pray for me that I may hold fast mine integrity.
Yeah. No, almonds or walnuts. It all depends on what your goals are. It's not too many carbs. Actually, I would say it's too much fat.
Too much fat, Deke. Oh my gosh.
But it depends. Like if it fits in your macros and your calorie allotment, the thing is like a handful of almonds or walnuts
Crazy work.
Dang.
is like
200 something calories.
200 something calories.
Yes.
Claude, have mercy.
You know,
Yes.
it's hard to stay full. You know, it's hard to stay full.
Hey, we had to get Benson. We need to get his sin of the night.
Why? What's he rocking?
Benson, what you rocking?
Classic barbershop.
Man, look at that. That's 2 for 2.
Talk about 1 mile.
So
Wait a minute.
Wait, classic barbershop.
See, he sounded like I hear myself in the mic.
Really?
With an echo.
I don't know. It's
It's
weird.
like-
It-
like-
I-
it's
I-
like
it feel-
a
it feels like it's a little better today.
I said that last time. You said it wasn't a reverb.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I love you too.
Uh-huh.
No, I don't know. Maybe they adjusted. It sounds a little better today than it normally does. To me, anyway.
Or we're getting used to it.
Or we're getting used to it.
That too.
I know to y'all it sounds fine, and that's cool. Like, right? That's the most important part that they hear it. But it's kind of annoying when
Dang,
you hear yourself a certain way.
Yeah, I can hear that.
But maybe I'm getting used to it.
Oh, Jesus.
Maybe I'm getting used to it. I don't know. What role does exercise play with carbs and fat? None, unless you're an advanced athlete.
Right.
You're just trying to lose weight. That's stepping over $100 bills to pick up nickels.
Facts.
Yep. Yeah. People get too nuanced with stuff when you don't need to. Like you could just largely do it by
Caloric deficit.
just hit that first.
Count it.
Like days that I know I'm not gonna hit my protein or whatever. Like for example, Saturdays are hard for me, right? Like I can't really. Then I try to stay in calories because I might not hit protein, so I at least try to stay calories.
Right.
You know, because at the end of the day, see, macros is more about body composition than it is about the actual weight loss. So when you hit your macros, it'll help you shape your body the way you want. Right? Which is people want more muscle, less fat. Right? They call it toned. Right? And calories is the main driver of any type of weight or fat loss.
Right.
But if you want it to be more fat, that's where macros kind of comes into play. Because the higher the protein, There you go. Like there ain't nothing wrong with carbs at all. I've eaten carbs extensively at times.
When I run,
and I'm still able to lose and stuff. It's just that when I want to get aggressive and hurry up and get it over with, then I drop carbs like stupid low and fat when I'm trying to do it fast.
But that comes with doing all 3 pillars, though, right? The sleep.
And that's the other thing, right? So the exercise plays a role as far as the pillars, the 4 pillars. Because I always say 4 because you got to have the foundation of the Lord before anything else. Because remember, let's get that bodily exercise, profit of little.
Yes, sir.
Right. Let's define that again. Yeah. Stay within your calories for whatever your goal is. Concentrate on protein and fiber. And then the rest you fill in for the rest of your calories.
That's it.
Right.
And the fiber, it makes you want to eat less.
It sure does.
Yeah.
And it flushes you out.
Right.
Keep you
talking
flowing
about like
right.
digestion.
Yeah, it keeps you flowing right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Fiber feeds your gut microbiome. That's what they like. And when it's out of whack, when you're giving it more fat than fiber, when you're giving it all this other stuff, that's when you have all these weird stomach issues and
constipation.
Or diarrhea. Depends. Go ahead, read this real quick.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 4 and verse 8. For bodily exercise profiteth little, but godliness profitable. For bodily exercise profiteth little, but godliness is profitable unto all things.
Right. So that's why that's the first pillar. We're never going to get rid of that. That's profitable unto all things. You have the discipline to apply these commandments, to change your life and live the way the scripture calls you to live. That's the biggest discipline builder that you can do. Anything else after that you don't accomplish is you making excuses and lying to yourself. Because if you could deny yourself your lust, change your whole life to the extent that we all have by following these commandments, everything else is light work.
Right.
Everything else is light work. I'm telling you. It don't, and I don't mean that it won't feel heavy. It's just, it's not unconquerable like you think it is.
Right.
Yep. Right. It's not unconquerable. Like sugar intake, barring any type of diabetic condition or something else that maybe I don't know about, because the Lord is the master of terrors and he has all types of diseases. Like, there'd be some stuff you'd be hearing and be like, damn, I didn't even know that was a disease.
Right.
Any other thing that's not written in the book of the law? You talk about all these different diseases and plagues and stuff. Your body's main fuel is sugar.
Damn.
That's what your brain likes. That's what your muscles like. It's the quickest, most digestible thing. Now, I'm not talking about table sugar.
That's what you have to clarify right there.
Right? Just, people
over here. Sugar, oh my gosh.
The only issue with table sugar is that there's no vitamins or nothing in it. That's all. There's nothing, no fiber, no vitamins. I could diet and get all my carbs from table sugar, and I'll still meet my goals.
Lord have mercy.
So instead of rice or potatoes or fruit, I could do a side of sugar with my vegetables and my protein, and it's fine.
Damn.
Dang.
The problem's it's not so narrowly focused. There's a lot else that goes with it. People who tend to have high sugar diets also have high fat, because sugar has no fat by itself. But your Twinkies and your ho-hos and your ding-dongs and your ring-dings and your Oreos, right?
Like that.
But most people, all they got to do is get your weight within a healthy range, get your body fat within a healthy range, and you see all types of improvement in all types of things. We overcomplicate things. Focus on the 4 pillars. Focus on the 4 pillars. The rest of the stuff is just noise.
What were the 4 pillars again?
God is your foundation. Feed your spirit, right? And under that's the study, pray, apply. Those are the actions behind that. Sleep. I'm saying it in that order.
Right.
Get your sleep hygiene together.
Sleep helps you lose weight.
Sleep helps you lose weight.
And gain muscle.
Yeah.
If you're not getting enough sleep, metabolically, you're not stable. Your body can't do what it needs to do. So Most High, God, first pillar, sleep. It don't mean sleep. Scripture, get that. Don't love. What does it say about love and sleep?
Yeah.
Get that real quick. We always got to mix the scriptures into this. People is asking questions. I'm taking some questions, but I do got to get on topic. Especially, I got some health stuff to cover, and then we started a little late. I hit some traffic getting over here, so I wanted to. I was hoping to start a little earlier today, but you know which one I'm talking about? The Proverbs
6 and 4. Yeah.
Yep.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 4.
Uh-huh.
Give not sleep to thine eyes, nor slumber to thine eyelids. Deliver thyself as a roe from the hand of the hunter, and as a bird from the hand of the fowler. Is that the one?
No, that's not it. It says love not sleep, I think. 20 and 13.
20 and 13.
Yep, that's it. 20 and 13.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 20 and verse 13. Love not sleep,
Uh-huh.
lest thou come to poverty. Open thine eyes, and thou shalt be satisfied with bread.
Right. So it says love not sleep. So when I say sleep, I'm not talking about, because some people are like, man, I'm good at sleeping. Some of you, that you might have slothful spirit behind that.
Right.
There's a balance in the sleep, right? But usually most of us don't sleep enough, and we have disrupted sleeping rhythms, right? I was thinking about this the other day, and if you really think about it, a lot of the issues with sleep kind of came about when artificial light was created.
That's heavy.
Because the Most High made us to have our circadian rhythm
Right.
to go with the sun. Right? You're up right when, because what happens when light starts coming in the room?
You ready to get up?
Right.
Yeah.
And that has to do with something in our physiology, right? And then when the sun goes down, just your whole mindset changes and everything like that, right?
Right.
So our bodies were, if you think about it, in tune to that, sun evening cycle, and artificial light changed that because now you have super bright light, right? And now you can stay up later, and you have computers and right, like if you think about it, what did we have back then? There was no TV, there was no stuff closed at a certain time. They had the bars, people always in pubs and things like that. And like if you wanted to stay up late, you went there. Other than that, what were you doing up late in the dark house? Right, candles didn't give that much light. What do you have? Candles, torches.
That's what I like to.
Right.
I like to light candles at night.
Right,
because it helps me wind down. And I never thought about the light aspect, but that's probably
makes a lot of
factor. Yeah.
Right, it's a softer light. It's calm. It doesn't give off a lot of lumens. Right, so and it's different. Right, so sleep. So the Most High sleep, meaning get your hygiene together. Consistent. More than anything else is consistent bed and wake times.
Right.
More than anything else is consistent bed and wake times.
Heavy.
Not in America.
And diet. And when I say diet, not everybody's trying to lose. Some people trying to maintain. Some people just trying to have some sort of health goals or whatever it is. But whatever it is, stay within caloric maintenance or under if you're trying to lose, or slightly above if you're trying to gain. And within that, there's more nuance. And then exercise. And, you should prioritize strength over cardio, but you really should be doing both. But if you could only do one, strength has a larger effect on longevity.
All-cause mortality.
On longevity, well, decrease in all-cause mortality than anything else. But ideally, you should do both. And if you get those things together incrementally, everything else will kind of start to fall in line. Not right away. Takes time. But
that's where people get impatient with that. That not right away. I want to see it right now, and they just lose all hope.
Yeah.
No discipline.
Yep. Yeah, no, 4 to 5 hour ain't gonna get it done. It's gonna be different for everybody, but I would say, and I'm not talking about how you feel, because how you feel is very different than physiologically what's happening to you. I'm talking about because it catches up to you. Like you can probably get away with it for a while, but then you start noticing certain things. You kind of age faster and all this other stuff. I would say most people's sweet spot somewhere like what they've been saying for years, 7 to 8.
Yeah. If I hit 7, I'm good.
Yeah. 7 to 8 is like the sweet spot. Occasionally you might do less, but then it's cumulative, so you got to try to make it up somewhere.
Anything over 8, man, I feel sluggish after that.
Yeah, it depends. It depends. Like if I have a lot of sleep debt and I get more, but I notice even when I'm on point, like where I don't have any sleep debt, like the Whoop will recommend about 8. I mean, that's not including time in bed. Like the Whoop calculates yours based on your wake patterns. So it kind of, as it learns you, it knows how often you wake up in the night, and that counts as taking away from sleep.
Oh,
So it might tell me I need to be in bed 9 hours to get 8.
that's crazy. I didn't know Whoop was
Yeah.
like that.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Whoop, there it is.
Yeah, the Whoop is good.
Damn.
Yeah.
It breaks it down because
That's
it'll show you the
crazy.
time you're awake. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Hey, so the topic today is called From Samaria to the Streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, son.
Got you, Benson.
Colorism, captivity, and covenant. We gonna bring some stuff out.
That right.
I've been seeing some things about ignorant stuff. I have the video where I don't know if I posted to y'all where the Judah brother. We're not gonna show it now. Where he was saying the hell with Northern Kingdom and their immigration, and I don't know if I posted it in our chats or somewhere else.
Yeah, man.
I was so mad. Right. Oh yeah, we got the chicks too. That's good. Okay, all of that's good. All of that's good. There was another one, man.
That one was in another chat, but we gonna look for it.
Yeah, look for it. Look for it, please. And I think there's it's crazy to me that I can see some Southern Kingdom. I'm not talking about with us. But in general, right? Like we see Southern Kingdom talking about the hell with what's going on with all the Latinos and what's happening. It's just crazy, right? And I think it's on both ends. Colorism's a double-edged sword. The lights don't like the darks don't like the lights.
Man. Perpetual
The
cycle.
darks that don't like the lights prefer in their women Eurocentric features, though.
Right.
It's true.
Damn.
That's
Bring it
where
out.
that, and what I mean by that, and we'll define that later. That's where Bishop talks about where you're so messed up that you want your woman to have a weave.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You favor Eurocentric features, right?
Yep.
Is that my chair?
No, I think it's
Is that one of you that got like a nervous tick?
I'm not ticking.
All right.
Are you ticking?
No, not yet.
Definitely not me.
What was that?
Somebody was ticking.
Somebody was doing something.
It's the table.
That's the whole table.
It's the table.
It's the table.
It's like a screws.
Wait.
We need the new setup.
Wait.
Yeah, that thing
I'm
is
staying
weird.
still. It's one of y'all that's doing something. Y'all kicking on the table or something.
My feet on.
Look.
planted.
Even when I do the table, it's not doing it. It's one of y'all. It's on your
It's
side.
probably me.
It probably is you.
You over there.
It usually is you.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Usually is you. But anyway, before we get into the main topic, good. I'm glad you got it. I'm glad you got it. Before we get into the main, and then look up FBAs because not everybody knows what that is. Let's have that definition. All right. I want to go into a little bit of health stuff, right? And I'll do a little bit of. We were talking a little bit, but I want to show a couple of my health clips, right? That I procure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that I procure. I won't have Facebook ones for a while because I can't get on my Facebook.
Not a
But-
black word.
But I got my Instagram ones. I thought I had more than this. Was it only these that I posted since Thursday of last week?
This is just from like last week up until like a little bit of this week, and then this is some of the stuff from last week.
That was the one from the week before last. Okay, so everything that was everything from Thursday. I don't know why I thought it was more, but okay, you go back to the other ones. Let's see what we got. We were dealing with the health stuff, so we're gonna talk about the health stuff. But I give you just so you know what you waiting for when we get to the main meat and potatoes.
I like how you did that.
When we get to the main meat and potatoes. All right. And make sure you're hitting that like, all right? We got 239 but 349 watching.
Man, like the like.
Get
All
him
right.
up. Get him up.
Yeah, show me this guy on the left. He does kind of what the other guy does, but I liked this one in particular, dealing with the breakdown of your foods and stuff like that. And then you can see the misnomer with calories, all right? Let's talk about that.
How is it possible that these 2 days of eating have the same food, the same protein, but the calories are completely different? These two plates are identical, except this plate has this much butter added to the scrambled eggs. 400 calories, 600 calories. And they'll nearly always add this to your scrambled eggs when you're out at restaurants.
Stop. So when you're eating out at restaurants, you know,
You can forget.
unless they have their thing listed, and even then,
You can forget it.
it really depends,
Now, who's in the kitchen?
right? That's just a guide. when you go to eat out. So even though you can find nutritional information when you go to eat out, just a guide. Like, you know, the whole Chipotle controversy?
Right.
So they have calories listed on their website, but it's based on the size of the spoon that they serve you with. So when your expectation is that they load up your bowl or burrito, right?
Yep.
And people are like, yo.
Put some more on there.
Yeah.
Extra
You're
beans.
blowing it out the water. You're blowing it out the water, right? So it's just a guide, which is why even when you're dieting, your best bet's going to be to eat most of your meals at home because there's a lot of variability. Probably where you won't have variability, believe it or not, is going to be like a McDonald's, a Burger King, because they're driven by a standard to make profit. So the manager's making sure that, you know, it's one scoop of meat. It's, you know, it's one thing of fries or whatever it is. Like that's the whole very cookie cutter. You know, when you go to like a fast casual place, you know, you go to Cafe Zupas, you go to a Panera, whatever, it's going to vary a little bit. It's going to vary a little bit from what's listed, right? But, you know, just identical plates. And just the fact that they buttered up the eggs that much.
200 calories.
200 calories more. Go ahead, keep playing.
2 plates of pasta look exactly the same, except this one has 2 teaspoons of pesto. This one has 2 tablespoons of pesto. And this subtle difference adds 200 calories that you didn't realize.
Stop. So look at that.
Oh my God, that's 400.
Look at that difference. All right. And it's wild. And pesto's good, but pesto's another one very heavy in fat, high calories. So same amount of carbs, everything else, but 200 calories more because you wanted more sauce. Right?
Dang.
Go ahead.
And these are exactly the same wraps, but adding full fat mayo and chicken thighs instead of light mayo and chicken breasts will add on an additional 400 calories.
So
and
see how much?
both-
Oh, let me tell you, mayo, for those of you that love mayo, full fat mayo is crazy work.
Yeah, I had to get rid of it.
Full fat mayo is wild, bro.
Insane.
It's wild. It's wild. When I do mayo, I do light and I weigh it. I don't spoon it because spooning it ain't right either. Most people do a heaping spoon and you got to weigh it. Usually it'll have grams.
Big bag.
Yep. And then the difference between thighs and breasts. And not everybody has the room in their macros for thighs. So breast is going to be the better choice and tenders is going to be the most. What's nice about tenders is that even though it's white meat, it's leaner than breast and it's more tender than breast because it's a tenderloin. Yep. Go ahead.
0% Greek yogurt and the same fruit, except this one has 250 calories of almonds, and this one has 40 calories of chia seeds, even though the quantities look really similar. Even though these 2 days of eating look the same and have the same protein, this day is 1,500 calories, this one adds up to 2,500 calories. And remember, if you want to join Oscar and I this Sunday at 7:30 p.m.
Sorry, you could drop him. So it's 1,000 calorie difference. Same exact meals.
Right.
So you have healthy foods in front of you. That's why, you know, people are like, oh, but I'm eating healthy. And I'm not. What's your definition of healthy?
Right.
You can overeat nutrient-dense foods.
Yeah.
You can overeat.
And the thing about it, everything that made it go overeat was the sauce, nuts,
the butter.
That's usually where to get you.
Yeah, that's honestly where people unaware at because you're like, oh, it's just sauce.
The oils you cook with.
Oils, like
Those
that's
are
crazy.
things
You're better off spraying. Like I bought a sprayer for the oil.
Okay.
And sometimes I'll spray and then take a paper towel and just coat the pan. I don't want any type of drip in there to minimize the amount that's in there.
Right.
You know, just so you have a little coating and stuff like that. What else we got fitness wise before we jump into the main topic? Any food scale will do. I use this one on Amazon that's USB rechargeable. I wanted a bigger one because when I meal prep big things, like sometimes like when the weather's colder, I like to use the pressure cooker or the crock pot for like, you know, stews or even soups. Soups could be very low calorie. Broth is nothing.
What about sodium?
Overblown, unless you have high blood pressure or a propensity for that stuff.
Don't worry about it.
Nah, just as long as you're drinking enough water and things like that.
Right.
Like the recommendations for sodium were based on that they're kind of on the low side, especially if you train.
Okay.
and especially if you're sweaty, like you sweat when you train.
Yeah.
So you're probably dropping mad sodium out your system.
He sweats when he lives.
You sweat in this room.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's true.
So kind of overblown, the sodium thing. And again, one of those things, people worried about sodium, but their saturated fats through the roof.
Right.
Like that's when you want to keep within a range.
Okay.
Especially as a man, you don't want like more like 20, 25. That's the stuff that clogs the arteries.
High cholesterol.
That's what leads to that stuff.
Okay.
High in saturated fat, that sort of stuff. But sodium, overblown. I mean, you could have an upper limit, but I think most people, they just OD on the whole, oh my God, all that sodium.
It's just, I've heard it before, so I was curious.
Yeah, it's just old thinking. You remember, a lot of these information we have where something is demonized it's driven by industry. Just like there's lobbyists for politicians. Yeah. There's a lot of, right? So remember, like, when you had all the pork farmers that had a representation, and now it's pork, the other white meat. You remember those commercials back in the day, right? Yep. Right, because they were like, and guess what? Pork was actually real lean. When I was in the world, I could do a pork chop as long as, like, you could do a baked or broiled pork chop, and the fat's not bad on it.
Right.
You could do pork tenderloin, and it's low fat and high protein, right? But I'm not, obviously I'm talking not, we know it's not lawful,
right,
but so they had a whole campaign that they did that. I think I've mentioned this before. It's kind of like the Chick-fil-A ads.
Eat more chicken.
With the cows, talking about eat more chicken.
Yeah.
So everybody's kind of against each other, and they tell you don't eat this, and they'll pay even for negative ads, like politics, but just in the food industry.
Right.
Because you have, just like you have big farmer, you have big agriculture.
That's
it.
Money.
And it's not your little farmers that's trying to do it. It's just they represent them, and they have to get the maximum effort and money for them. So they'll say, don't eat this, but eat that, and don't eat this, and do this, and
right.
So a lot of stuff gets overblown. There's like an agenda behind a lot of stuff.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So and then on the flip side, they'll say that. That's why I think if you just focus on those 4 pillars, and unless you have some sort of medical condition that warrants you looking at other types of things, don't overthink it, because you don't know who's for or against you, and
right.
And remember, the scripture says we'll eat our defiled bread. You read that in Ezekiel, so right?
Prophecy.
Yeah, I mean, and when you say Whole Foods, that again, that's a term that's left to a lot of interpretation too, right? Like, I get what's being said when they say that. I know what that means, but I think a lot of other people don't know what that means, because we just showed you Whole Foods on this example,
right?
And we showed you how, for one person, that would make them overweight if they ate 2,500 calories a day.
Yeah.
So it's not just Whole Foods. It's understanding how the nutrients work, what they do, and again, that impact caloric-wise. That's the other thing that's changed. We're more sedentary. Most of our jobs is not like what it was like for us back in the day.
No.
A lot of us, most of the time, are sitting down. We're at a computer,
Snacking.
If you were farming all day and working the field all day, hell yeah, you could come in and have freaking fatty meatloaf with fatty gravy, with mashed potatoes that has cream and
with
butter,
the gravy on it,
right? With the gravy on it, and you could do all that, right? No, stay away from these fad diets. Carnivores crap, keto's crap too. I'm gonna tell you that right now. As long as it has a calorie thing and you can stick to it, and everybody calls it keto, and they're not really doing keto. You don't have no ketones in your body. You're doing a low carb diet with high fat.
Right.
But then you guys do it without counting calories, and you overeat. And you overeat. He's like, yeah, man, I went through that. He said, I rode that horse.
I did.
He said, I rode that horse.
When he ran back to me, he ran back to me.
Yeah, everybody does this. Eat. Whole Foods to me means you have. Make sure that you have veggies,
right,
carb, and a protein, right? And if I was gonna split it on a plate, right? You know how they do the plate, my plate. Half your plate should be protein, and then the other half should be split between carb and veggies, or all veggies if you prefer.
What's funny, growing up, that's how the plates were always made. Like as a family, when we would cook meals, that was the train of thought: protein, carb, and then vegetable or
that
whatever.
was it.
Yeah.
They call it a starch.
Yeah, they call it a starch.
Yeah.
And it don't matter the carb. You can do white carbs. It's fine.
Just stay within your macros.
Stay within your macros and your calories.
That's it.
Get good sleep, exercise. Even if you only start with like 30-minute walks, a few times a week.
Yeah, not like 11 miles.
I mean, some people do it.
Steak, broccolini, and sweet potatoes, a hell of a combo right there. As long as it's not a ribeye, unless it fits.
Unless it fits. Ribeyes are amazing.
If it fits, but the ribeye probably eat a bunch of my calories. I don't think people realize how hard it is for short people and people who are lighter.
Yep.
I don't mean lighter skin. As we're going into the show, I'm talking about lighter in weight. I mean, y'all that's in the Whoop group with me, you see the calories.
Yep.
And like my calorie, you'd be like, damn, Deke did like an 18 strain, but he only burned like 1,700 calories, even though the Whoop calories are low. But you know, and then you got like Officer Sarai who didn't do nothing all day. Just breathe.
God, strain me up there though.
And eat cheesecake. Damn it. Just breathe and eat cheesecake standing by the fridge. Damn it. And he burned like 2,500 calories.
Boy, ain't no way. Boy.
Hey, Officer Sarai sleep be on point. He be like right behind you on sleep though.
Man, I'm trying to cover.
Now imagine if he just lifted some weights and stopped eating cheesecake.
Well balanced.
Message.
That's it. Right, just that. Beans is fine, but beans can add up quick too. You got to measure. You got to measure. You got to weigh.
You got to count the cost.
Everybody wants to do everything else except the things that work.
Come on, D.
It's wild.
Crazy work. Like I said, I literally snapshot.
And I ain't mad at y'all. You know, I just see it in the comments. You know, I've been saying for how when did we start going heavy on health? A year ago? 2 years ago?
At least.
Yeah. Right? So, like, for 2 years, I've made, like, health segments, like, a part of the show.
Yeah.
Right? Because I just couldn't take it no more. I stood quiet because everybody had an opinion. And I said, I don't want to offend nobody.
Right.
But then I couldn't take it no more. I said, I can't see everybody just being led all over the place on this stuff.
Yeah.
And get a food scale. Learn to understand how calorie-dense food is. And, get a basic idea of what your ballpark calories are daily, and be disciplined and honest with yourself. Everything that goes in your mouth, you count, you weigh, you measure, right? And you'll get a better understanding at the very least, even if you don't follow it like every other diet you don't follow.
Right.
You'll have a better understanding when you look at something and say, that right there is probably
a little over.
Come on now.
A little over.
Give them the secret.
Yeah. He said pecan cheesecake is a tea.
Yeah, that pecan cheesecake.
Hey, but Deke, someone posted 4 ounces of brisket.
Oh,
what did
4
we
ounces
just
of
discuss
brisket.
about brisket this week?
I know. I posted that it was 490 calories.
Crazy
for
work.
4 ounces of brisket.
Yes. And the fat was
Again,
insane.
I think that's with the fat cap on, though. I'm sure if you take off that fat cap a little bit, it ain't that crazy. It ain't that crazy.
But the fat's what gives it flavor.
All right. I want to show one more, and then we're going to get into the main. Hold on. Oh, let me do slow metabolism. Because that's another big one, right? Y'all going to be like, yeah, but my metabolism's slow.
Bring this out, please.
But my metabolism's slow. Play it.
If you think you have a slow metabolism, watch this video.
I've tried every diet under the sun over the years. Nothing seems to have worked. And so I just must conclude that is because of my metabolism.
We asked Debbie to have her metabolic rate checked. Debbie is put under a ventilation hood 12 hours after her last meal. The researchers can now measure how fast her body burns up calories when it's at rest.
And I looked at the data from today's experiment. It's almost spot on what they predicted.
What it should be.
What it should be.
So I haven't got a slow metabolism.
No.
In her diaries, Debbie records eating well under 2,000 calories a day.
When you did your diary on the video for us, about 1,100 calories. That's how many you've recorded that you've eaten.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But remember that doubly labelled water. It reveals that Debbie, in fact, ate 3,000 calories a day.
Oh my Jesus.
She thought she had a slow metabolism.
Stop for a second before we get what he has to say.
I eat a little.
And look, it's not that when I say be honest with yourself, it's not that you're being dishonest with anybody else.
Right.
You really believe that you're not eating a lot. Right. You really believe that you're not overeating. But you cannot be fat and be under eating. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. Show me somebody who's overweight and you eat too much. That's the bottom line. That's how it works.
So the math ain't math.
That's it.
I'll put it another way. If you go and you fill your gas tank, They have a thing that stops it, right?
Mhm.
If you go past it, what happens?
It spills out.
It spills out, right? Except the spill out in your body, food is your fuel instead of gasoline. The spill out turns into fat, and it fills your fat cells, which are able to expand and expand and expand. And yes, there's some small nuance about predisposition, right? You know, some people sometimes genetically do have more fat cells and things like that, but metabolism still works the same way.
Right.
You're overeating. You are not overweight and doing things right. It's not that there's nothing. It's not the diet you're following. You're eating too much. You're eating too much. And guess what? You don't even have to move more if you don't want to. It's better if you do, but you just eat the proper calories to either maintain or lose at the pace that you're burning, and you'll be fine. Food is fuel.
It's heavy.
And whatever you overeat, your body stores for later. And it stores in the form of fat. So it's all about calories. It's all about the calories. I know you're going to see people online, they're going to tell you it's not about the calories. That's BS. They want to sell you something because it's boring to say that.
True.
It's too easy.
It's more sensational to say this and say that, and you know, and they speak so convincingly, and they prey on your ignorance. And you know, we live in a day and age where the information's out there. The information's out there, and yes, it should be. When we say whole foods, meaning you should cook your food, you should buy your ingredients and prep it, right? It should be minimally processed, right? Minimally, because nothing's not processed.
Right.
Your orange that gets to the store is processed.
Packaged.
They have workers or machines
You
that
didn't
pluck
pluck it off the tree.
that
Right.
pull it.
Right.
Sometimes they wash it. They do some stuff to preserve it in transit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Your meat that you buy is processed
That's right.
because you didn't go in the back and kill the cow and skin it and drain the blood and take out all the gunk. So when you buy a steak, when you buy ground meat or chicken breast or whatever it is, or even cut up chicken pieces, that's processed. That's processed. So she didn't have a slow metabolism.
Right.
And people think that. And she said she was only eating 1,100 calories, but when they monitored her and tracked what she was eating, it was 3,000 calories. Play.
When they tested it, they realized that it was completely normal. So why was she overweight? Turns out she was eating 3,000 calories per day on average when she thought she was eating only 1,100 calories. And that's not unusual. Research shows that most people underreport caloric intake anywhere between 40 to 50%. And it's not intentional, it just happens because people don't have the skill of knowing how to track accurately. Even professionals underreport. Here's the truth, guys. Outside of specific medical conditions like hypothyroidism, a slow metabolism is not a thing. And yo-yo dieting does not ruin your metabolism. Some people do burn very few calories, but it's because they have very low muscle mass and they have a very sedentary lifestyle, but that doesn't mean that you have a slow metabolism. The good news here is that nothing's actually wrong with you if you think you have a slow metabolism. You just haven't been taught the proper nutrition, training, and lifestyle strategies to help you lose fat, build muscle, and transform your body sustainably. And if you comment Blueprint on this video, I'll DM you my ebook so you learn exactly how to do that. If you think you have a slow...
And someone said in the comment, there's a difference between a diet and a lifestyle change. And that's really what you got to do. None of those diets are going to work for you because unless you live that way the rest of your life, like even the short-term success you might get, right? A lot of times it's water weight that's dropped and shifted, right? It's not true fat or not all fat. And then you're like, damn, I stalled or I gained it all back because you didn't create any new habits. You didn't change your lifestyle. So it's not sustainable. And that's why, again, just follow the 4 pillars. You can eat all the foods that you like. And when I say the foods that you like, I mean the types of foods, not the places you like to eat. All right? Although there have been people that have done it on McDonald's.
This is true.
That's true.
Within calories. But you're talking about like he bought one hamburger and cut it in 4 pieces and ate that throughout the day. You know what I'm saying? Like who's going to do that with some hyper palatable goodness? You couldn't stop yourself but have 2 In-N-Out burgers the other day.
Yeah, I'm getting another. I got to do it.
He said, damn. So that means he had a quad. You could just got a 4x4 protein style.
Usually I do the 3x3, but I
4x4 is crazy.
I have no idea what y'all talking about.
It's 4 patties.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I figured that, but like in and out.
3x3 is pretty. You got to smush it down a little bit to bite into that bad boy.
But it's good. I did a protein style though. I never tried the protein style before yet. Like this week, fire.
What's your diet calories?
2750. And I be hitting my goal.
That's crazy.
It's foreign language to me.
Yeah.
You got something you want to bring up?
Yeah, just real quick.
Go ahead. I gotta get off this food thing.
Sirach 6 and 32, please. Because D, you go over this every week. We got a health section of going over the same thing over and over. But when you look at the comments, it's like people are still throwing these different things out, which is, irrelevant at the end of the day. But if you just only listen.
Double crab.
Read.
You want 6 and what?
32. Go.
The book of
They
Sirach.
say your mic's a little low. Just talk louder.
All right. Yes,
Put
sir.
your cram voice.
Double crab.
Got me? Let's do this.
Yeah.
The book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 34. Stand.
32.
32. My son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught.
If you want to learn, you will be taught. If you want to have the willing spirit of learning, you will be taught. Read.
And if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent.
Read.
If thou love to hear.
If you love to hear, here we go. Read.
Thou shalt receive understanding.
So everything that's being told right now is not off of just I think. We know it's coming from a place of study, of being prudent in the research and proving facts from a real life experience person that's actually doing it, right? Read.
And if thou bow thine ear, thou shalt be wise.
So we got to take heed to what's being said. And watch this, because I was at one point listening, but I was like, it's the fact that it's hard to change. People get stuck in their ways where it's hard to change. So when you hear new information, it's like you're kind of hesitant to it. But when you finally give in and be like, know what? Let me just give it a try. Let me just try this calorie deficit. Let me try to count. Let me track and do all these things that I'm not used to. And you'll see the fruits from it. Living testimony. So, hey, we're giving the medicine. We're giving the secret. Follow that thing. Just try it. Just try it.
Hey, somebody said, I don't know if I'm saying you're Yomi Kolawole. Said lean brisket from Mission Barbecue is the cheat code. Way better macros, all the protein, half the fat. I'm usually disappointed when I eat barbecue out. I think on one hand I can count I want to say the best that I've had, and I haven't been everywhere. I know there's a lot of good places, but like I've been to Memphis, to like one of the famous places that was there.
Right.
And it was underwhelming. You were with us?
Yeah, I was with you.
Right, what? It wasn't, right?
Yeah.
And that was the spot.
Yeah.
Right? Like down the block from where Martin Luther King
yeah.
got assassinated. I forgot the name of that spot. And I'm not gonna say it was trash. It was just real basic. It was just real basic. And I'm not saying I'm the best, I know people like the way I season and prep some of my stuff, but
you like Master Chef level. I'm just gonna put it out there.
No.
Just gonna put it out there.
I wouldn't say that. I don't think so anyway. Like I'm confident on feedback that people like my brisket, but I wouldn't consider myself that. There's brothers who are like kind of more well-rounded when it comes to that. But
he's humble.
I seen a Mission Barbecue that's about to open up.
Where here?
Shoot.
Near me.
Oh.
And I was wondering what that was about.
You were curious.
Now if they got, because the lean I'm gonna imagine is the flat, and if they got good flat, and the macros is good,
yeah, buddy.
But I'm telling you, it's like a lot of places don't be tasting that great.
Barbecue,
brisket mainly. Like I've had good beef rib in some places.
Yes,
I've had that, but brisket's usually underwhelming for me. Where did I go that was fire one year?
Rudy's.
I don't know if it was conference or Passover. It might have been Passover. We did in Dallas. Nah, Rudy's all right.
Yeah,
we went to Texas with Officer Issachar.
Pecan Grill.
Huh.
At the time when we went in Dallas, it was like
Dallas crazy.
Like there was a line and everything. We had to wait like 45 minutes to get in and stuff like that. That thing was good as hell.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Yeah, that was good. Dallas is
there's
a couple spots that I need to try here in Phoenix that say they're supposed to be really good.
Barbecues.
I don't know, man.
Barbecues.
I don't know.
Them beef ribs.
Officer Eliakim, I think is that where Asher took them?
Barbecue.
I don't know.
I think I did hear him say he went to barbecue.
I don't know. I heard
barbecues.
Captain Gad, Eliakim, and Carmelite, and they know what they talking about. They said barbecues was trash, bro.
They didn't know what to order.
Asher,
They said they boiled the barbecue, bro.
Wait a minute.
Some people do that. They'll like boil it to soften the meat before they put it on the barbecue. And I can kind of get why a high volume restaurant might do that, but that's not barbecue, bro.
Damn.
Bro, they
They
know.
boiled
They
it.
know.
That's what it was?
Yeah,
It was
they know
that?
for their barbecue.
Yeah.
Barbecue's where it's at.
Yeah, that he said yes. That's.
I
where
don't
we
know.
took
They
him.
they said it wasn't good, bro.
Damn it.
They said it wasn't good.
Crazy word.
So there's a couple spots here in Phoenix that I want to try. That's supposed to be pretty good,
Was it
but I
Honey
feel
Bears?
like I get amped up and it ain't good.
Right.
And it ain't good. But anyway, come on, I gotta move on from this.
That whiskey.
Plus.
I know I still got some leftover brisket in the fridge too.
See, I told you I have charity
Man.
to take it off that temptation off of you, Deke.
The kids been eating it. The kids been eating it. All right. We're gonna get into the main topic. I want to do some marriage stuff too, but everything else took a little time. But
Let's go.
It's all right. Nah, let's get into it. I don't want to be here real late, but I want to get through my whole episode. I even formatted it. Look, I formatted it. Okay.
You got
So
the
ChatGPT, that shit.
Y'all was
Yeah,
something else.
man.
I mean,
Yeah,
since
did.
the scribbles, he got it
Yeah.
actually typed out.
No, because I've been using the voice feature more.
Uh-huh. Oh, you
okay.
talking to it now.
So
Oh, snap. Oh, snap.
I've not renamed it though.
You ain't read that?
Yours
Okay.
is Malachi on top.
Nah.
Oh, damn.
Because you know you can rename it. Mine says ChatGPT 4.0. That's it.
Oh no, I ain't no. You know, after the
says you
correction
can
came out, I
says you
I
can
don't even
rename
talk
it.
to his ass. No more. I just be like, do this, do that. I don't even call
trying
it.
to
I
do
don't do
that.
that. I don't do it.
No. ChatGPT is dope. It types stuff for me and all that. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's legit.
Yeah, it's legit. No, I don't want to say it's legit. I'm saying it's good. It be messing up. You gotta
You have to.
proofread. You
You
gotta
do.
watch the stuff it puts.
Yeah.
It be messing up. But I be getting it to, like, it didn't fight me today when I asked it when I was formatting this stuff.
Uh-huh.
Which also tells me that they know the truth.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Man.
Yes.
Right? You know, I was reading that somebody said they. You know how people say they.
They. Who's the they?
One guy said he wanted to make a corporation called like They Inc.
Uh-huh.
And then that way when people say they,
Right,
it's like
right.
a company behind it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't know that I'm going to get to be as deep as I want to be with this one, right? But we're addressing an issue that's both historical and personal, right? Colorism in the Black and Latino communities, all right? It's not just about skin tone, though,
Right.
right? It's about division, identity, and if you really think about it, there's a lot of scars from captivity for all of us.
Right.
Even though we firsthand physically have not experienced captivity,
The PTSD is in our DNA.
the PTSD is in our DNA, right? We know that, right? Can we get that in Job 20? Because if it's like this for Edom and their hatred for us, because they'll try to tell you, well, I didn't commit that. That was my forefathers. That wasn't me.
wasn't me.
Right. I don't hate you.
Right.
And I'm using this to show you that you pass these things down. And it's interesting you say that. I was reading something or watching a video the other day, and I don't know if I saved it somewhere or whatever, and it said something along those lines, and it made me think. It made me think of this verse, and it said trauma can be passed down genetically.
Yes, correct.
Damn, that's deep.
Like as they continue to unlock the genome, like they say, and study this DNA and everything, they realize that even trauma can be passed down through DNA, right? Past trauma. And something as significant as all the captivities that we've been in, right? Egyptian, Assyrian, so on and so forth. You can't say that that's not something that really pursues us, right? You get that in and get me that in Deuteronomy 28 after this, where it says these curses will pursue thee and upon thy seed forever.
Yes, sir.
Because I want to tie this into the statement that you just made, Officer Ruvain, about it's in our DNA, right? So read this really quick in Job 20 and start at 5, so we can get the sense.
The book of Job, chapter 20 and verse 5. That the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment.
Come on.
Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds.
You see the way Esau is, how they maintain their power, how they maintain their preeminence, right? It says, don't let these things deter you, right? He's going to let you know that though it may seem like they cannot be conquered, that we are oppressed and robbed and spoiled always. Keep reading.
Yet he shall perish forever like his own dung.
Read.
They which have seen him shall say, where is he?
That's where it says, where they look upon him and say, is this the man?
Is this the man, right?
Right? That precepts with that, where it says, where they have seen him will say, where is he? Meaning, you say, this is the guy?
Right.
That
Can't
ruled
be him.
nations and
Come on.
destroyed.
Not this guy.
When we see the true form,
Right.
right? Go ahead, come on.
He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found.
Uh-huh.
Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night.
Right. It's gonna be, and that's when the scripture talks about this whole thing is gonna feel like we woke up from a bad dream. And what happens when you wake up from a bad dream?
You don't really remember.
You don't really remember. And if you want to remember, right, you got to start writing right away,
down.
right?
Yeah.
Or record what it was about right away.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
It's
all the
gone.
details
It's
get
fleeting.
blurred. Meaning, you'll remember that you had that dream. Be like, you know, I had a bad dream, and I think it was about this, but that's it.
Yeah.
So we're going to know that it happened, but we're not going to be able to experience it anymore. Unlike the way we are now.
So the trauma is going to be washed away
The
from
trauma
us.
will be washed away. Remember when I said no more tears, none of that, right?
Yeah.
That's really what that's going into. Go ahead, come on.
Verse 9. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more.
Literally, because he's going to be wiped away. Go ahead, come on.
Neither shall his place any more behold him.
Come on.
His children shall seek to please the poor.
And
his
So
hands.
he's saying his children will serve in captivity the poor in spirit, which is us. That's like when you read, is it in Isaiah where it says, in Romans where it says, I'll make them to worship at thy feet in Romans 3. Yeah. And then in Isaiah, there's the prophecy of that, how they'll come down. We're not going to go there. I want to stay on my segment breakdown. I'm reading this to make to head back to the point.
Right.
Because he says all this, and we're starting to get into that when he says his children, because it goes into the DNA. Right? I'm trying to show you that it's passed on. Generationally. Right? Go ahead, come on.
His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hand shall restore their goods.
That's when they'll bring the forces of the Gentiles back into our gates. Means all their riches and all the riches they stole from us. Go ahead, come on.
His bones are full of the sin of his youth.
Right. So when you're dealing with bones, it's talking about that DNA with the sins of his youth, of the wicked. We know Job 9:24 says the wicked, right? And Malachi 1 tells you that it's Edom.
Right.
Right? So it says the earth's given into the hand of the wicked. Malachi 1 tells you that wicked is Edom and all the nations that are with him in Psalms 83. But it's letting you know how it works is that it's passed on. The Lord designed that DNA so that more than just your features, your color, your hair, this, that, and it's passed on.
Right.
That's why the proverb says about the as is the mother, so is the daughter, right? And that's good or bad. And it's the same when you hear about the father, the apple don't fall far from the tree,
right?
Or they get that from the Apocrypha, which says, then he's left an avenger behind him, one like unto himself. It's not just what you show them, it's what's in them, right? When it makes me think of when Cat Williams said the tiger went tiger. You remember that stand-up? He said the tiger went crazy, and it ate them, and it attacked them. He said, no, the tiger just went tiger.
Right, he just went tiger.
Right. So Esau's going to do what he do. That's why it says never trust thine enemy, right? Because it'll rust. And we have those traumas passed on in us. So when I say that this colorism topic is very important, it's about the scars of our captivity as well, right? Keep reading.
His bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust.
Right. So it's meaning it's in it. So just likewise, the bones are full of the sin of his youth, meaning when Edom and Amalek too. Remember, we spoke about Amalek last week and what they did against us, right? Did what they did and what they continue to do. It's in them. It's in them and it pursues us. Now get me what I wanted in Deuteronomy 28. And then I'll let y'all give your commentary.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse
45.
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed.
Till we be destroyed as a people. Right? Go ahead, come on.
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign, and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
Why does he say upon thy seed forever?
This is going to travel.
First of all, for the idiots that try to say that was fulfilled and that's one and done, no. That verse invalidates that whole thing there.
Yeah.
And it says upon thy seed forever, meaning on
Perpetual.
the children. Perpetual. So there is a scarring, and I wish I remember that article. I'm sure I saved it somewhere, or it was a video. You know, it's just so much information that flies everywhere. I tell you, if I could just be a scholar, I would love to just kind of spend my days cataloging and chronicling all this stuff. Right, just archive this stuff to be used at a later date. But scientists are now discovering what we've known biblically.
Right.
They call DNA and all these other things, when Bible called it seed and bones and so on and so forth, that those things carry on, all right? So it's deeper than the surface. It's more than just that I'm light-skinned and this, that, and the other. And that's why it's laughable when you have people amongst ourselves that have issues based on that within the tribes. When you have that vexation and when you have that envy going on. And that's why I say it swings on both sides. Y'all were going to say something?
I wanted to say two things. Number one, speaking on those brothers and sisters that don't believe, them were the same brothers and sisters that was turning in Nat Turner and everybody else that was doing the Underground Railroad and stuff. That's that same type of spirit to do what? To go against your brother in favor for your enemy. That's the number one. The second thing, what was I going to say? The second thing about the bones and stuff, right? If we didn't have those things, the trauma transferred to us from the Egyptian and all the different captivities, we would just be like everybody else. We wouldn't have no reason to fight. The oppression maketh a wise man mad. Where does that oppression come? From generations and generations of dealing with trauma.
Yeah, absolutely. You were going to say something?
The Job 20, I thought it was heavy because that was all prophecy that you broke down, right? And you referenced Isaiah different. We were talking about the Amalekites back in Genesis.
Yep.
When you read verse 11, it says his bones are full of the sin of his youth. It's them, like in Genesis 25, it talks about there's two nations in your womb, right? That's the youth of them as a nation.
Yeah. And that goes to the second Ezra 6.
Right.
Where it says the hand is between these two.
Yeah.
So that follows after. Let's read that part real quick.
Yes, sir.
Was it 6 and 9 or 10?
Yep.
Well, read 9 to get the sense.
The book of second Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 9.
Talking about the sins of his youth. Go ahead, come on.
For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Right, so when they talk about the end of the world, what they're talking about is the end of a kingdom, the end of a reign or an epoch. All right, go ahead, come on.
The hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand. Other question, Esdras, ask thou not.
Right, because why? Jacob grabbed the heel of Esau. So it's letting you know that this was, and when you read from the beginning, we've gone over this before a few times on this show. I've done it in classes. It tells you that before he even started creating anything, he made this plan. And he knew that it would be between these two. So when it says he's full of the sins of his youth, it makes you think again that there was a creator, this divine creation. I was reading something else the other day that they're saying there's a large group of scientists, respected academics, that are starting to disprove the Big Bang Theory based on different things that they're discovering now. And they're saying it has to be a creator. Oh, it had to do with, they believe that this particular universe that we're in, not the whole universe as the universe as a whole, but what we have as the observable universe is actually in a black hole. So what they're saying that if things could be created in black holes, then the Big Bang Theory doesn't make sense, because you can't have all this creation from that 1-2 specks of dust that came about. Right? And it made me think about when the scripture talks about many mansions and you speak about all these different things and creation and stuff like that. And I was like, damn, that's kind of wild.
Man.
But I didn't explore that more yet, so I just let it ride.
We gonna have to explore that. That is the power hour plus.
Yes.
So I would have to have the time to read it and stuff like that, man. Like and really kind of break it down and pair it. I've been wanting to run back the evolution show that I did many years ago on a Sabbath power hour. It was short and brief. I don't even remember the verses that I went through for it, but we went over like the case for a creator with the genetic genome. But anyway, my point is, I don't want to get too far off topic. It's not just about skin tone colorism. What's really behind that is it creates and perpetuates division. It skews identity. All right. You read that in Daniel 9 and 7, I think, with confusion of faces, right? And the scars of captivity that go deeper than just what we see, right? So I want to explore a little bit how our people have been taught to look at each other with suspicion. Because it should not be that way, but we've been taught to look at each other with suspicion. That's the crabs in the barrel mentality. Favoritism. Right. Or even shame sometimes, right? Based on complexion alone, based on an outward appearance, right? But it goes back to the biblical divide between the northern and southern kingdom. That's why it says from Samaria to the streets. Because as you've seen it biblically, it still manifests here in these last days between
Nothing
us.
new under the sun.
That part.
Nothing new under the sun. And I say it on both sides because I acknowledge 110% that I've lived it. I've seen it from my mom. I've seen it from certain other so-called Latino Northern Kingdom families. This mindset that was instilled, and you have to understand el blanqueamiento in its entirety to really understand why Northern Kingdom is like that, especially heavy in these last days. And then when you bring in the biblical perspective of it, then you understand why that's there, right? And then looking at it from the other side of it, though, Judah and the Southern Kingdom can't act like they just run into embrace Northern Kingdom either.
The same thing was taught to Judah. Growing up, the same about Mexicans and the race.
All of that stuff. And you know, I finished watching The Get Down again with my daughter the other day. And, you know, I was like, damn, it'd be good for me to take certain clips from this. But we'll probably get shut down if I do it. But it shows that I've always said this. There was certain pockets of us where we were able to maintain bonds without that issue. And I understand now. See, in my world, I thought blacks and Hispanics was just tight because that's what I grew up with. That's who I grew up with. Yeah, there was some white people in the mix, but not like out here. Not like other parts of the country.
The West Coast different.
Yeah, way different.
You know, we were talking about basic training in the military with some of the visitors we had last Sabbath. And we basically were all in acknowledgement, like we really saw racism heavy when we were in the military.
Absolutely.
Right. And if you was in the military, you understood it and you see it. And it kind of opened my eyes to realize, because from my perspective, the narrative was that there was no issues. But then I realized as you come out of those pockets where we're tight like that, and I've said this before, our beef was never really about because you're black and I'm Latino. It was over other carnal BS. A girl, the block, you know, the crew you ran with, and it wasn't so much about color or whatever else. There was more of a propensity of us realizing that we were just with each other and that was it, right? And I think what made that so unique about New York in particular and certain parts of the Northeast is just that we were forced to grow up and live like we outside of what I mentioned with Harlem, you know, and you had one side and the other. We actually didn't have a line that we wouldn't cross with each other. We walked here and there. But by and large, especially in the Bronx, of all places, we weren't segregated. We lived together. We lived together, and that was it. And I think that goes a long way for us to see where we're at. Where you want to go?
Jeremiah 50.
I'm bringing that out later. But you can bring it out, but I'm bringing it out later. I have it for later.
It went. You saying
No,
it?
let
We're
him
gonna
Right.
read it.
I have it for later.
Yeah,
I have it for
break it
later.
out.
But so I want to explore how we've been taught to look at each other that way, right? And you see it biblically, all right? Brothers were separated by war, okay, captivity, and then eventually culture and appearance.
Right.
Because though we are the same people, right, we kind of went different paths. So our foods are slightly different, though they have overlap in origin.
Yes, they do.
Yes,
Right?
they do.
So here's the thing. Like I wanted to show the Mexican video. As a matter of fact, I'll show it. Didn't I post it and I said for the Mexicans, I got to get them? You probably didn't see it where it talks about where one of their dishes comes from. And I think I said something like that in the chat. I never got to go over it last week or the week before, but I said Mexicans got to get this work. And I want to give an example of this and explain this, all right? Because I know Judah gonna get all happy and say, "See, us from Africa," but I'm gonna hip you to something.
Oh shoot!
I'm gonna hip you to something. Did y'all find it? Did y'all find it? Should I go and look for it? You found it? Okay, pull that up. Pull that up. Pull that up. I'm gonna give you this example. First, let's show this.
What this brother was saying
that's
back
that's
then.
not it.
Oh my Jesus! And go.
It's the food one. So you did not find it then? That's not what I said.
No, he thought you meant first. Let's show this. Like,
No.
But no,
Is he on the show?
I think he's not.
Whether he was in the body or out of body, he cannot tell.
Last week.
Dang.
Now you guys gift me. I'm looking at the new gift. You guys gift me.
Yep.
That's when he was messing up with the reading. I said, "What the hell is this?" Oh, come on.
And go. I can't believe it.
Do you need me to tag it or you found it? Okay.
There it is.
Now, before you play it, now I got to give the sense again because we took long. I know I threw it on your last second, but y'all should have everything that we don't go over, man. I'd rather you just catalog it until we run out of space, all right? And then you show me again. Remember, I said culturally and appearance-wise, and I want to give you an example of what I mean by that. Though it seems because we did kind of experience our captivities differently in these last days, though it seems like we're different, we're more alike than we are different. Oh, but before we show the video, I'll give you one example. Carmelite made a good point, and he said, he's like, for example, he goes, like, Northern Kingdom could dance to our stuff, but it's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
He said, just like Southern Kingdom, like, he was like, I can move to some of y'all music.
Right.
He goes, but it's just different. Like it flows a little different in my body, you know? And he had pointed something out, and I guess I had said this in the past. It's like, we'll catch the beat, but like we each catch a different part of the beat.
Right.
Right? Like Judah catch a different part of the beat, and then Northern Kingdom. So don't look bad necessarily when Northern Kingdom doing it. It's just different. Right? Unlike Esau, they can't catch the beat at all.
No, it's over with for that.
Most of them, because there's some that sneak in there somewhere and they'll do a little something. But right, and likewise with foods, right? So let me show you this to all my Mexicans, that because Mexicans especially don't like dark people.
Dang.
Go ahead.
To show you Mexican food that originated in West Africa, made by our West African ancestors. So the first one is jollof rice. So if you look, the top, that's from West Africa. At the bottom is from Mexico. So you can see
how similar it looks, right? But let me tell you something. The rice up top look better than that.
I'm telling you, right,
Mexican rice at the bottom.
Jollof rice be hitting.
Yo, because that Mexican rice almost never hit.
Man,
why does that Mexican rice not look like Captain Cornelius's Mexican rice?
Cream of wheat.
Mexican rice almost never. Mexican rice almost never. But tell me the rice on the top. Tell me the jollof don't look better.
It does.
Man, oh my God.
Go ahead.
The next one is mole. So at the top you can see it's called mafe from West Africa, and the bottom is actually Mexican mole. This one is Ugandan liboke at the top, steamed banana leaves, and then you put meat in it. The bottom is a tamal. So Mexicans actually also make something called corundas, and it's very similar as well. Then you have West African fried tilapia and Mexican fried tilapia, and look how similar they are. Then you have bisep and agua de Jamaica, which is made with hibiscus. So these foods are our West African ancestral legacy, and it's a way to honor our ancestors to make them.
And I want you.
So stop. So here's the thing. Because is it West African, does that mean Judah made it?
No, sir.
No.
Nope.
Not at all.
No.
So going back to what I was saying, what I'm trying to hip you to when it comes to this is that though cultures diverge slightly, you find the similarities between our people. There was another one about horchata, and it originated in Africa.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that could have been something that Israel had.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
That's the way to
That's the point.
You understand what I'm saying? It's
Before
not
Second
about the
Ezra's
tribe.
13.
Before 2nd Ezra 13, these were things that we had
Exactly.
and that we made.
I think that went over a lot of people's heads.
That bold too.
Unified.
No, that's
As
what
a
I'm
nation,
saying. Southern
right.
Kingdom was like, yeah, see?
Nope.
Our stuff is the best.
Right.
What I'm trying to show you is that we're not so different. We're not so different. And a lot of our stuff culturally, though it diverged a little bit, is basically the same stuff.
It's ours.
Right. And it diverged through captivity. Through the different captivities we were in. 'Cause before then, we were all on the same page.
Yes, and that's what wound up happening, right? So as we're looking at this, right, this is what happened historically and biblically, when I say historically, as well as historically as far as world history. Yet in the New Testament, you see Christ himself speaks to this division a lot, right? Especially in John 4, when he meets the woman by the well, right? She says, our father Jacob. We're not going there yet, right? And Christ doesn't correct her.
I wonder why.
How come he didn't say, no, you spick?
Right.
Oh my God.
No,
Right.
you wetback.
Right.
Right.
Right? He didn't say you're not our people.
Or call her a dog.
Right? Or call her a dog like he did to the heathen.
Right.
Right? So he reveals himself to her at that point. And remember, he says, I'm not sent but to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Which means
what? So showing that despite separation, she's still part of the promises.
Right.
So even if you feel that there's division in colorism, right?
Don't get it twisted.
The promises are still to all 12 tribes.
That's right.
It's like the closing song, where there'll be no Israel without Mexicans, right?
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. So just like us today, different shades, but one struggle. And still, well, not just one covenant, but the same covenant.
Same
That's
covenant.
it.
Yes,
From the same covenant. So whether you're from the barrios or the blocks,
That's right.
our history is shared, our pain is parallel, and our redemption is collective.
Chat GPT going, hey.
It's just polishing. It's just polishing.
Oh,
Because I'd have dropped some F-bombs and stuff like that. So-
right.
Clean it up. Clean it up.
No, literally, I'll speak it in and I say, clean this.
Yeah.
They be like, beep, 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 beep.
Man.
I say, clean this up for me. Clean this up for me. Right. It's kind of like if I were to sit with you and toss an idea off for you, and then I ask it to write it for me.
Right.
Right.
So it's kind. I guess is that how you have somebody like when you do a book,
Yes, a ghostwriter.
Ghostwriter.
You got
Right.
your
Yeah.
own personal scribe.
right?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna say. That's
Personal
I'm
scribe.
gonna call it scribe.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm gonna call it scribe. Not Malachi, not Pablo. I'm gonna call it the scribe.
Right. Okay. All right.
So, colorism, preference or prejudice, right? Based on skin tone within the same ethnic or racial group. That's the main component of colorism. It has to be the same racial or ethnic group, right? And I think that thing is heavy amongst us, right? So, in so-called black communities, right, lighter skins is sometimes associated with beauty, intelligence, or desirability, right? And darkness is like, damn, you dark, you black,
you
damn,
black.
nigga. And in Latino communities, there's a preference for white passing. We've spoken about that on this show too, or what they call Eurocentric beauty standards, right? So I think I said, do we pull up Eurocentric or Euro? There was a link I sent. Let's look that up real quick, right?
Eurocentric.
There's some
beauty
links I
standards.
put.
They have a beauty?
Eurocentrism, okay? Eurocentrism. All right, let's read this a little bit. Come on.
Eurocentrism, also Eurocentricity or Western centrism, refers to viewing the West as the center of world events or superior to other cultures. The exact scope of Eurocentrism varies from the entire Western world to just the continent of Europe, or even more narrowly to Western Europe, especially during the Cold War. When the term is applied historically, it may be used in reference to the presentation of the European perspective on history as objective or absolute.
And such is the case. the European perspective on history, right? It's his story,
Right.
because it's largely told by him.
Right.
Iconoclasm, the destruction of our people, the crafty council, where they consulted again with one consent, right, against thy hidden ones. All right, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. What they really meant was us, and they want to divide us, and not just divide us, but then that replacement,
right?
That replacement plan, like we went over last week,
the supplanting,
right? The supplanting. And they presented themselves as the ones with the birthright, even though that thing was given away from their progenitor.
Right.
Right? So,
sins of their youth.
Right. The sins of their youth. Right? Go ahead. Come on.
Or to an apologetic stance toward European colonialism and other forms of imperialism.
Uh-huh.
The term Eurocentrism dates back to the late 1970s, but it did not become prevalent until the 1990s, when it was frequently applied in the context of decolonization and development and humanitarian aid that industrialized countries offered to developing countries. The term has since been used to critique Western narratives of progress, Western scholars who have downplayed and ignored non-Western contributions, and to contrast Western epistemologies with indigenous epistemology.
Let's look that up. You could just click on that, and because
that's not a Negro word.
That's not a Negro word, right? What are you doing, guys?
Traditional knowledge, indigenous knowledge, folk knowledge, or local knowledge generally refers to knowledge systems embedded in the cultural traditions.
No, so look up epistemology instead. Epistemology, so we can explain that well. Let's read that.
Epistemology, the theory of knowledge, especially with regard to its methods, validity, and scope. Epistemology is the investigation of what distinguishes justified belief from opinion.
Right. So what happens is, because things have that Eurocentric beauty standards, ideals, right? What we wind up having is this presumption that that is the right way and the only way.
Right. Hence the weaves.
Blonde hair.
Yeah.
Again, so going back, since I recently watched it, it's fresh in my head. One of the main narratives of the Get Down is that you have Ezekiel is one of the main characters. He's Ephraim, but his mom's was Southern Kingdom, so he's Ephraim Judah, but he's Ephraim. And the big thing was how everybody was so big on him going to Yale, right? And there was one point where they were like, he can go down to a black college because he'll qualify, right? An HSBCU, right? He can go down to a black college that would be a good school for him. It would still be accredited and everything else, right? But the emphasis and what a big deal it was for all around him to go to the white school.
Right.
And it was a big deal for him to go to Yale and plays a big part where he was doing this internship for them and all this other stuff. And I don't want to spoil it in case anybody wants to go watch it, but he handles his business as far as that and how it works out. And the ass kissing he had to do.
Right.
Yep. Even to get in.
Even to get in into the internship and all this other stuff, and how they basically was like, yo, you can't be representing yourself or your real culture.
Right.
You know, you got to basically
assimilate.
Right. And I love that you bring up assimilate, because it reminds me of when we had Dr. Sanchez from the Brown Berets on the show, and he said one of their main things was they were anti-assimilation. Like, they knew that they had to play in their sandbox as far as politics of the white man and things like that, but they didn't want to do it at the expense of losing their identity.
So they were in it, but not of it.
Yes. Damn. Bars.
Right. Go ahead.
They were in it, but not of it. It's that anti-assimilation piece that's always part of it, right? But that Eurocentrism really goes into that aspect of that's the ideal, right? Let's get that in 2nd Ezra 6. 2nd Maccabees 6. And is it 9 or 10 where it says that if they did not conform to the manner of the Gentiles?
Yes, sir. The book of 2nd Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 9. And whoso would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles should be put to death.
Right. So you had to conform yourself to the manner of the Gentiles. If not, you'd be put to death. That was literal back then.
Literal.
Right. And right now, what happens?
Cancel culture.
Right. And not even just cancel culture,
Character
but
assassination.
But you're not able, unless you take the route that they've established is the objective, correct path.
Right.
You're not going to make it anywhere. Right. And that's why a lot of our people, because they create this ceiling that prevents you from taking that route. They try to say that, we're good for us to be professional athletes and things like that, but that's all they let us be good for.
Right.
You know what's crazy? I was watching this short film about how in the 50s they were teaching white people how to sell to black people. Back in the 50s, black children were the most educated. They were more educated than white children. But look at us here in 2025. We some of the they claim us to be some of the dumbest people on the earth. But look how they shifted it.
You know, and I'm going to tell you, this is how I look at it. We're definitely not the dumbest.
Right.
We're the most capable. We're the most special. We're the chosen people.
Come on.
We're extremely ignorant. We are highly ignorant. And it is by design, but we're so ignorant that we continue to choose to be that way.
Choose, that's the part.
We perpetuate that ignorance in our aversion, in the suspicion that they've put on us.
Right.
Like, the Bible clearly tells us they're wiser than Daniel, but we say, the white man said it, so nah.
Right.
Damn.
Automatically.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
And we conflate that he lies with that he actually knows what's up.
Right.
Right.
Right? So we say, I don't want to learn from him. But you're supposed to learn from everyone. There's something you can learn from everyone.
Right.
Right? Like every race. Right? And yes, they're nothing, they're less than nothing. But the Bible clearly tells you he's given them power and authority.
Right.
Right?
Over
And
you.
Even that, it says in Romans 13.
They're the rulers of darkness of this world.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
It says in Romans 13, they're ministers unto thee for good.
For good, yeah.
Where's I think it's Christ where he says the prince of this world is coming. You know what I'm talking about?
And yep, I have no part or, let me see, hold on.
John
12 and John 14 and 30.
Is that the good one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this world
yep,
comes,
that's it.
yeah.
John 14:30. That's it.
The book of St. John, chapter 14 and verse 30. Hereafter I will not talk much with you, for the prince of this world cometh, and hath nothing in me.
Right. So he has nothing to do with Christ
Right.
or God or the Bible or anything like that, right? But he called him the prince of this world.
Right.
He said,
The
you're not going to hear
ruler.
from me. He says, I will not talk much with you. That don't mean that he's not going to be here. That means that we were going to go into that period of darkness where we would lose everything.
Right.
Right? Where we would grope at noonday,
Yup.
as if in the dark, because he would cover all of that. Right? But the point that I want to get from this is that it's acknowledged that he's the top dog in power in this earth right now. So you don't think there's something to be gleaned from that? That's why some of you don't know what the hell's going on in the world.
Right.
Because you're so averse to anything that they got to put out news-wise. You're up on everything that's been happening with Diddy and his trial.
Damn.
You're up on the NBA finals and the drafts and everything else.
Yep.
Right? But you're not up on what's happening in world events or nothing like that. That's just one example how we perpetuate the ignorance.
That's fact.
Why are you gay?
Right. Why?
The Most High said the world was made for our sakes. That goes for everybody in it.
Yep.
Can I read this real quick?
Go ahead.
The book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 4. For he is the minister of God to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid. For he beareth not the sword in vain. For he is the minister of God, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. The reason I wanted to read that is because God put him in this earth as that power to either execute the judgment and wrath as the sword, but also to be a minister unto good. Because you look at Joseph, the heathen were able to put Joseph in a position to save the nation.
Mm-hmm.
You look at all of our Daniel, all the forefathers. They literally, the heathen were ministers unto us for good when we use that knowledge the right way, but we still stood for God.
That's facts.
Right.
Like what was the statement you just said? It was the end of the world, but how'd you say?
Yeah, you gotta be in the world, but not of it.
Get me that in Timothy about oppositions of science.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna show you something in that too about the ignorance and why we gotta not automatically be like, nah, I ain't dealing with that. Yeah, they lie, but educate yourself so you know when they're lying.
That's heavy.
Because the truth is not as hidden as it once was. It's almost like to deny it now is the stupidest thing probably that you can do.
Facts.
Because you can find and understand the other side of it, right? Go ahead.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 6, verse 20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings.
What's committed to his trust? This understanding of these scriptures, right? He says, keep that. Don't lose that knowledge. Avoid profane and vain babblings, right? Go ahead, come on.
And oppositions of science, falsely so called.
Right. And this is the part that I think a lot of people get. It's kind of like when the people misconstrue the love of money.
Right. And then they demonize money.
They say money is the root of all evil.
Right.
But the verse says the love of money is the root of all evil. In this one, people say, see, science is falsely so called. Look at the context and where this is being said. He said oppositions of science falsely so called. Think of the time period. What was happening? A lot of discovery, the Greek Roman philosophy, Stoicism, and all this other stuff, right? And he's saying they're going to tell you this and they're going to tell you that. Opposition means what?
When it
Going
goes
against
contrary
God.
to God.
There's another side.
Yeah. Right.
So what it's saying, the profane and vain babblings, he's saying, keep the Bible as your foundation and your understanding. And avoid the oppositions of science, falsely called. He didn't say science is false. Just like he said bodily exercise profiteth little, he didn't say not at all.
Right.
Again, because the mindset was they put that as the pinnacle of things. Right? Same thing with the science. That was above everything else. And so what they try to do is he's saying it doesn't mean that science is bad.
Right.
What it's telling you is that, because why? We'll take Tylenol because we know, right? Because we experience what it does for us, right? You'll take your ibuprofen, right? Even the knowledge of natural remedies, though a lot of that is ours, we lost all that. Where does that come from? It's still publicly known. You see it, right? You look it up. Like, for example, you take oregano for your stomach. You can look that up online, and it validates that it's good for your stomach, right? My point being, that would be technically considered science.
Right.
Right? Now they're more aware of what in it makes it work a certain way. I'll give you another one. Turmeric. Everybody's up on turmeric now. Curcumin and stuff like. So everybody knew turmeric. We as a people knew turmeric was a good thing for you. And they knew specifically that it was the curcumin in the turmeric. Turmeric that was good for you. Turmeric. The turmeric that was good for you.
Or add the black pepper.
Right. Or add black pepper for absorption. Right. And they understand now how that works. And it's not just the black pepper, but there's a thing called huperzin A. That's a component of the black pepper. It's basically black pepper extract. So now you get none of the spiciness and just the potency of what's there. And you'll see that sometimes in some of the supplements that you buy because it helps with absorption. Right? My point being is that is all science. And we automatically think that we can't get anything from it. But notice what was said here in this verse, the oppositions of it. And how do you understand what's profane, what's vain babblings, what's oppositions? By holding fast to what you've been entrusted with these scriptures first. So you have to look at those type of things and understand that. And that's why we can't let ignorance prevail. So, historical root of colorism. You had the caste systems in colonial Latin America, where they spoke, and we've gone over that, right? Where they, las castas, where they talk about mestizos, mulattos, criollos, right? Slavery's legacy in North America and the Caribbean. Different impacts. Same thing, captivity, but different impacts. And then what you get is this indoctrination of Eurocentric ideals by our oppressors through their religion,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which get the racial idolatry one in a second and pull that up. It was a picture, right? Through religion, education, and then policies. What do they do with the Indian schools? Right? What do they do now to this day? You know, I was talking to my kids the other day because they didn't realize that, like, if they don't go to school, like, we could get locked up and they could be taken from us and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And I said, you know, that actually, you know, I said, it in hindsight, it's not a bad thing to operate in this world. I said, but
Indoctrination.
I said, but that started right now. It seems benign,
Right.
but it started why? To indoctrinate us to be more like them, right? They changed their name, right? Kill the Indian, save the man, right? And that wasn't a new thing. They did that in Latin America,
right?
Because in Latin America, they did it in a broader sense where it wasn't just a school. They did it under el blanquimiento, which we're going to read about in a little bit. But I want to pause for a second to talk about this racial idolatry, right? And likewise, they did the same thing to Southern Kingdom, right? Just manifested differently. And then we all wound up, well, not all, but some of us wound up here on this side of the world. But the white man's influence was so powerful that it's all over Africa. Look at what happened to our brothers and sisters when they went to preach.
It's almost worse out that way.
Crazy.
It's almost worse.
Yeah. Bro, they got stoned, man. Like
Literally stoned.
Crazy.
They defend white Jesus like you would not believe.
Right.
So, same thing for both our people. For both, you know what I'm saying? When I say both our people, I'm talking about the two kingdoms, right? What we have to do is look past the obvious minor differences and look at the grander, more like that trauma, the scars, the identity.
What binds us together.
And what binds us together, which is the scriptures, is the foundation of all of that.
Right.
And stop looking at the other aspects of where we have these differences, right? Those differences are clearly traceable historically why those differences are present.
Right.
And get away from the appearance piece, right? So it's funny because I wanted to look this up because I know what it meant. But you hear this, and it's funny who you hear it from when it comes against people talking about the doctrine of the scriptures and what we teach as Israelites. It comes from our people more than anything else. They throw the racial idolatry, right? Bishop was going over the 2819 BS, that Pam. I don't even want to call him pastor because a pastor takes care of the flock.
Jason. Right.
You don't lead them away to destruction. But that false teacher, Pam, and all the others that say that by us teaching Christ is black is racial idolatry. But I want to show you the hypocrisy in that statement and how they just regurgitate what they've been programmed to regurgitate.
Right.
And it ties into the colorism thing, right? And this is why this stuff is perpetuated. What the Bible teaches for our people, for the Israelites, is the most unifying force that there is.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Christianity is a religion of division. It's a religion of separation. It is a Eurocentric mindset that idolizes a white Jesus and a white God.
Period.
So the hypocrisy for them to say us showing the true image of Christ, the true complexion of the Hebrews, and why that's significant, they try to put it under a catch-all of racial idolatry, but they're hypocrites because what they profess to teach when they say his color doesn't matter is racial idolatry because that statement never came out of their mouth and nobody ever questioned when it was a white Jesus.
Right.
Right.
But you come and you bring the proper understanding and they fight it tooth and nail.
And everybody know where the white Jesus came from.
And it's that scene in the Matrix. You don't have to show it now, but I've shown over and over where these people are so tied in. The woman in the red dress.
The woman in the red dress.
They're so tied in. They're so synced into the Matrix that they'll fight to defend it.
Yep.
And that's what you see on the regular with our people. So now read this about racial idolatry real quick.
Racial idolatry refers to the harmful belief or attitude that elevates racial identity to a status that is worshipped or prioritized above other values.
What is worshipped racially? White Jesus.
Man.
White Jesus. Right? White Jesus. It's worshipped or prioritized above all other values. That is it's like we can almost never get to the other redeeming parts of the scriptures because they are so defending their white God.
Get past that.
They cannot get past the identity, which is a part of what we need in the scriptures. Get me that in Isaiah where it says to the law and to the testimony.
Yes, sir.
You remember the brother last night was like, well, what about white folks?
Uh-huh.
Just crazy work.
Yep.
We talking about how to unify the black community, and this brother's saying, what about white people?
Yep. Get me that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 8 and verse 20.
And then I want Revelation 1 and 1, and then we're going to jump to 14. Go ahead, come on.
To the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it's because there is no light in them.
Notice this is the racial idolatry is where the status is worshipped or the racial identity is worshipped or prioritized above other values.
Right.
Christianity's whole religion has no values behind it other than that there's a white Jesus with blonde hair and blue eyes, all right, and that God is white.
Yep.
And that anybody else that's not white is Gentiles, right? That's what they try to push, right? But the scripture says to the law and to the testimony. So the values
is the law.
That's the morality.
Right.
That's what's clean. Hold this. Get that Romans 7. The law is holy and just and good, right? That's the values. Go ahead.
The book of Romans, chapter 7 and verse 12. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy and just and good.
Right, so that's what's good. That's the values. Go back to where we were now.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 8, verse 20. To the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
Because there is no light in them. So they try to say that our whole doctrine is based on just Christ being black, but that couldn't be further from the truth. And I'm going to prove that to you succinctly now. I'm going to do this briefly, okay? So we know when we establish the values are the law, right? Just with two verses. We read this here, and we read what we read in Romans. Now, let me get Revelations 1. I want 1 and 1, and then we're going to jump to 14, and then I want Luke 1, and we're going to start like at 68, all right? Around there. Because I'm going to show you what the testimony of Christ is. Okay? Go ahead. Come on. Summarized. Obviously, there's some more nuance to it, right? We've gotten some deep breakdowns about Christ and what he represents and what he means. But go ahead. Come on. Read this.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
The revelation of Jesus Christ, because to have his testimony, it must be revealed. Go ahead. Come on.
Which God gave unto him to show unto his servants which must shortly come to pass.
And his servants are the Israelites. If you did in Isaiah, come on. Go ahead,
and
come on.
he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John. Verse 14.
Actually, start further up where he says, write it in the book.
Verse 11.
That's it.
Saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last. And what thou seest, write it in a book.
The testimony that thou seest, write it in a book.
Damn.
Write it in a book. Go ahead, come on.
And send it unto the 7 churches.
And then send it. Don't just write it.
Mail it.
Send it.
Signed, sealed, and
Send
delivered.
it.
Man.
Mail it.
Come on now.
Write it. Go ahead, come on.
Unto the 7 churches which are in Asia.
And notice, we call it the book of Revelation, but it's the revelation of John.
Yeah. Get out.
So when it says to the law and to the testimony of Christ, it's not just the Gospels.
Right.
Matthew, Mark, John, and Luke.
Right.
It's the whole New Testament. And Revelation is part of that. And it's the last book that seals that. So again, yes, the testimony of Christ is all those things, but I'm giving you the summary of it, right? So it says the revelation of Jesus, and then he tells John, what thou seest, write us in a book, and not just write it and send it like it's a secret diary.
Right.
He says you must send it. And what did he see? Come on.
Verse 14, his head and his hairs were white like wool.
They were white like wool. Some people try to say he had a white head.
Yeah.
Stop
crazy.
But
it said his
black.
head and his hairs. So it's talking about the hair on his head,
right,
and the hairs on his beard. How you have a white head?
Crazy words.
Just come on.
Make no damn sense.
Drugs.
Great. And it said like wool. Talking about texture. Go ahead, come on.
As white as snow.
Now it's telling you color, right? Because it can't be wool and snow at the same time.
Right.
Right.
It can't be, what's the texture of snow? It disintegrates.
Right.
It's gone.
Yep.
Soon as your hand touches it, it starts to melt.
Mm-hmm.
So why would he redundantly mention color? And wool ain't that white.
Mm-mm.
So it's talking about texture, right? And then there's a subtlety in as and is, right? So you read here and it says, his head and his hairs were white like wool. They were white like wool, right? And I think look up the definition of were on dictionary.com and then look up the definition of as. And there's a subtle difference there.
This is that rightly dividing the word of truth.
Man,
Right.
8 and 8.
Bruh.
Dissecting it.
Come on, bro. Why it take you so long to do that? Come on.
Said they read in the book of the law of God.
Can you do that in the background while you do were?
Man.
All right.
This is how you, man.
Nope, that's were as a verb. Keep going. Did you spell it right? Hold on. Yeah, that is WERE. No, that's we're.
Yeah.
Go ahead, come on.
That's we are.
Hold on. Did you put the right one in? What does the first one look like? No, that's not it.
We're in dictionary. Can we get Webster's?
Webster?
Yeah, do Webster maybe. I think in Webster it does it better.
Ton.
No. There's a way that it says it. Keep going. Keep going. No, I'm sorry. It's like that I wanted. It's like.
Simile.
It says like wool, and then it has as snow. That's what I wanted. My bad. My bad. Nope, not there. Go to dictionary.com. Go to dictionary.com. Look up like. Come on, man. You passed it. Okay. Scroll down, scroll down. It says it right there.
Oh, my God.
This is what the word like means.
Wow.
For all that, for hooked on phonics.
Wow.
All right.
Oh, Jesus.
Read that.
Like, adjective of the same form. Appearance.
Like
Oh,
wool.
gosh.
Appearance.
Kind.
Like texture.
Oh, gosh.
Character.
Character.
Oh, my
When
Jesus.
somebody says you're acting like a clown.
Right.
Is that something? What does it mean?
You're acting like a
something
clown.
like
You're like a clown.
Yeah, you something like it.
Right.
It's not just color. Go ahead, come on.
Etc.
Etc. Look at the second one.
Corresponding or agreeing in general or in some noticeable respect.
Like wool.
Wow. Like wool.
Oh, my gosh.
Similar.
Analogies.
Analogous, right? Read 3.
Oh, my goodness.
Bearing resemblance.
Stop it.
Whoa, in texture, it
Stop
looked like
it.
it felt like it. Now get me the definition of as when they say as snow.
Crazy word.
You asked for it.
What we reading? Bible, nigga. That's one of the comments. What we reading? Bible, nigga. All right. Now,
Oh.
when it says snow,
Yikes.
it's different. He didn't say like snow. It said as snow. Read this.
As adverb to the same degree, amount, or extent. Similarly,
Meaning in color.
Right.
Like in color. Look at the third one.
bruh. 3, thought to be or considered to be.
Very
Wow.
different emphasis when you say something is like something. Like, why are you acting like an ass?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Versus, man, you ain't you dumb as
A rock.
A rock.
right. Different, right?
Right.
That's
Different,
heavy.
right? I'm not
heavy.
saying you look like a rock, you feel like a
Right.
rock,
Right.
right?
Heavy.
So there's a difference in how those words are used and why those things are written that way, right? Why those things are written that way. Now, let me get Luke. We're still dealing with the testimony. So his testimony includes his appearance. I'm sorry, finish that about his color. About his color.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire. Verse 15. And his feet like.
And we've already established what like means.
Right.
What like means is talking about all the characteristics exactly like. Exactly like. It didn't say as.
Right.
It says like in color. Not as in color, like in color. Go ahead, come on.
Unto fine brass as.
And now, as for the color,
if they burned in a furnace.
as if they burned. And not as if they were burning in a furnace.
Right.
As if they burned in a furnace.
That's a good point. You
Right.
made.
Right. Burned as in past tense.
Right.
Meaning when something is burnt, is dark.
Yeah.
Dark.
You done burnt the toast.
Hold on, we not done. We not done.
Go ahead, come on.
And his voice as
Meaning it didn't sound like a bunch of water, but it was loud like many waters. Go ahead, come on.
the sound of many waters.
So there's a reason that like was used in front of some things and as was used as the descriptor or the adverb in others, because it is a distinct and subtle difference. But if they'd have not been caught up in Eurocentric ideology and not caught up in ignorance,
racial idolatry,
and the racial idolatry, they'd be all right. Now let me get Luke 1.
The book of Luke, chapter 1 and verse 68. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people.
His people. Go ahead, come on.
And hath raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David.
For us, not the whole world. This is Israelites speaking here. Go ahead, come on.
As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets.
And he's letting you know that all the testimony of Jesus, this isn't new. This was in all his prophets. Go ahead, come on.
Which have been since the world began.
And that means that this was what was ordained from the beginning. Nothing was ever supposed to change. So it did not change. That's why Malachi tells you, I'm the Lord thy God, I change not. Go ahead, come on.
That we should be saved from our enemies.
We would be saved from our enemies. Enemies is the testimony of Christ. Go ahead, come on.
And from the hand of all that hate us.
And from the hand that all that hate us, read.
To perform the mercy promised to our Father.
To perform the mercy promised to our Father. There is so many possessives there.
And it just keeps getting stronger.
That it pertain. We are promised to us. Go ahead, come on.
And to remember his holy covenant, the oath which he sware to our father Abraham.
The oath which he sware to our father Abraham.
That ain't everybody's father.
That ain't everybody's father. That's talking about us. Now, go back to racial idolatry. Come on. Racial idolatry. Read that from the top again.
Racial idolatry refers to the harmful belief or attitude that elevates racial identity to a status that is worshipped or prioritized above other values.
So when we can't even bring this out to the extent that they're willing to listen rather than staying there waiting to rebuttal because of their racial idolatry. Talk about the so-called pot calling the kettle black when they say we are based on racial idolatry. Go ahead, come on. Potentially
leading to harmful consequences.
Come on.
In essence, it's a form of idolatry where race becomes the object of ultimate allegiance or devotion.
They fight to the death to defend a white image, and then they say these other things. Now, let's read the key aspects. Come on.
Key aspects of racial idolatry. Elevation of race. It involves viewing race as the ultimate defining characteristic of human beings and placing it above other aspects like character or individual worth.
We don't do that.
Right.
They try to say that we do, but we've clearly established what our full doctrine is. Go ahead, come on.
Worship of a white god.
They are trying to say the whole term racial idolatry came about because it was worship of a white god.
Damn. Romans 1.
Not worship of a black god.
Right.
Because all of creation, the God of our fathers, all right, he's black. What you would call black today.
That right.
The only reason it's offensive to them is because of that Eurocentric mindset, right? But it's going to show you there's different levels to this. Because while they are against the true image of Christ, being black, some Southern Kingdom, because of where they stand, right? So yeah, my God is black, but my people can't be light-skinned either.
Damn.
Even though you understand the whole historical context of what happened in the scriptures. That's Eurocentric too.
Facts.
Go ahead, come on.
Worship of a white god. In some cases, it can manifest as the worship of a white god or a deification of the white...
Deification.
Deification of the white race.
Meaning when we say the white man's their God.
Right.
Right? Go ahead, come on.
Elevating it to the highest value.
Uh-huh.
Distorted theology.
It's talking about Christianity. Right. Because where's the white God? Christianity. Go ahead, come on.
Distorted theology. This concept is often described within theological frameworks as a distortion of the imagination, placing something other than God at the center of life.
Come on.
Breaking the law of God. Racial idolatry can lead individuals or groups to break moral and religious laws.
And can I tell you something?
Damn.
Does it show what I typed in the search on this picture? No, it doesn't. I literally just put racial idolatry. I didn't put racial idolatry in context to Hebrew Israelites, nothing. What they're telling you is that they know that the racially idolatrous religion and doctrine is Christianity.
Yes.
Oh my God.
They're just not using that term.
Right.
Because Christianity deifies a white God. It deifies the white race by extension. By extension, it distorts the theology of the Bible. That's what we read in Isaiah. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this, there is no light in them. And then ultimately leading to the breaking of the laws of God. That is Christianity in a nutshell. They're just not calling it Christianity. So that racial idolatry, man, they better shut the hell up when they try to bring that out. Because racial idolatry means, just like we say race, you can't have reverse racism.
Right.
No.
They try to say that's reverse racism when we say stuff against them. No. Racism as a term only came about because of how they treat us.
Yep.
Racial idolatry only pertains to Christianity and the white God that they profess. Go ahead, come on.
Such as forbidding relationships or actions based on race when such actions are contrary to religious teaching.
Right. So this is going to lead us, and we segue into the blanquimiento and how all this stuff manifests, right? But they break the laws of God, right? So it can be seen in various forms, all right? Manifestation in society. Let's just get to the bullets. Go ahead, come on.
Using dehumanizing language about people of different races. Justifying or excusing violence against individuals based on their race.
Come on.
Promoting racial superiority or inferiority. Engaging in discriminatory practices in institutions and systems.
Right. So,
Who's doing that?
Right. Who's doing that?
Right.
Who's doing that? Who has the power to do that in institutions and systems?
School to prison pipeline.
Right.
The white man.
None
The
of
white
us
man.
do.
Right.
None of us do. Right.
Crazy.
Right.
Damn.
Anyway, so before I get into the biblical divisions, I want to show the video, the other one that I had y'all find. Yes. Watch this. Watch this. What time is it? 9:24. We all right. We go a little more. I could speed it up and get through some of these scriptures. Go ahead.
And I want you to hear what this brother was saying back then. Let's go ahead and cue up the first video, ladies and gentlemen.
Whole race of people here, Hispanic people.
Wait, did you look up FBAs? Not everybody knows what FBAs is. Can you look it up so they can see what that is? I told you have that. I told you have it up at the beginning. You should have a tab for it if I told you that. Yes, we go. Okay, read that real quick.
FBA, in the context of African American identity, typically refers to foundational Black American. This term is used to describe Black Americans whose lineage traces back to the era of slavery in the United States. Specifically, it implies that at least one parent of the individual is from a non-immigrant background in the U.S. The term FBA has gained traction in online spaces, often associated with discussions about Black identity, reparations, and political engagement. Carnegie Mellon University says some view it was a way to emphasize the unique historical and social position of Black Americans whose families have been in the U.S. for generations.
So stop. So the point is, it's some new made-up stuff to try to create another identity.
Literally.
And
because you lost.
Right. Right. So they're trying, because they're lost, and they're trying to say that their plight is different, and is different because they had direct descendants of slavery. But again, you look at the vaster historical context, I mean,
that don't even make sense.
You know,
that's trash.
Northern Kingdom's foundationally Black Americans too.
Right.
That right.
Because we went captivity first over here.
Right.
Yeah, like what are we talking about?
That's that history right there.
Right.
Hey, Deacon, don't forget that if you came over here from West Africa as let's say it was 5 brothers. One brother got dropped off in Brazil, another one got dropped off in the Bahamas, maybe four more or 3 more got dropped off in the United States. So they different people. They literally came from the same father. What are we talking about?
Right.
Right. Anyway, go ahead. Play it. So it says, FBAs better not leave their homes to get involved in ICE protests, right? So this is from the Taste of Soul in 2018. But you're seeing that sentiment a lot now still, right? Go ahead, come on.
That there is.
Go back so that we can get the beginning of what he said. Thank you.
Let's go ahead and cue up the first video, ladies and
Whole
gentlemen.
race of people here, Hispanic people, just claiming that they the hardest working people that there is. If you so hard working, why Mexico so?
Stop. First of all, that statement is just repeating what the white man says.
Exactly.
How he know Mexico messed up?
Right.
Right.
What's so messed up about Mexico?
Mexico look good.
I'm not saying they don't have their problems, but every country has their issues.
Right.
You could say what's so messed up about the United States then.
Oh man.
Right? So, Mexico ain't that jacked up. They're a thriving economy. They're a world power. Not a strong one, but they're a world power. Was he talking about the cartels and the drug stuff? So then what about Chicago?
What about LA?
What about the Bronx in the 70s and 80s? What about LA? Right? What about Memphis?
Oh man.
Damn.
What about all these places where we have pockets where our neighborhoods are jacked up and we killing each other?
Little Vietnam in Atlanta.
Right. Go ahead.
I got issues with that. I got issues with a lot of things. You got T-Mobile, Sprint, Verizon, Wells Fargo, Starbucks. You got CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, all Hispanic staffs right here in LA.
Stop. And let me tell you something. If you want to get technical feature-wise,
he kind of...
Bro, he looking que lo que. He looking que lo que. He might not even know it.
Right.
Damn.
And look, you know damn well Mexicans are more hardworking than you. Because you was not trying to be on a roof in 105-degree Arizona weather building other people's houses.
I can't do it. That's some crazy
from dusk to
dawn.
To 4 or 5. You know what I'm saying? They get there when it's dark.
Yeah.
They got to start working early.
Straight up.
You ain't trying to do the same jobs as them. You're not trying to go work on a farm to bust your ass. You're not trying to work in a meat packing thing to do that type of work. I'm saying, bro, bro, I don't want to say I ain't never met a lazy Mexican because I knew a couple fat ones that was here.
Damn.
All right.
Oh,
They're not here anymore. But like, why you offended by that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because maybe you're not trying to work that hard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Nobody stand up to fight against them. Why is that?
Well, let me ask you a question. Why is it that you think they're hiring them over African Americans?
Racism.
Stop. It's not racism, bro. Bro, let's keep it real, bro.
Who hurt you?
Bro, I'm sorry. I don't like to generalize.
Do it.
Go ahead, D.
Go ahead. We know.
Flame him, D.
Come on. Judah.
I'm just saying reputations are earned, man. That's all I'm saying.
Damn.
I'm just saying reputation. So just like Mexicans is hardworking, you know why they want to hire somebody like that? Because they've had experiences with our people don't get. Hell, I'm going to say it. I've had experiences. I've hired people in Israel.
The Pookies and Ray Rays.
And they've destroyed my business. Off of laziness, call-outs, half-ass jobs. There's people supposed... And I'm not saying it's every single one of us. But let's be real. Work ethic in our communities, y'all even know it. Northern Kingdom knowing about working. I'm not saying because I know some lazy Northern Kingdom that don't be about nothing either. But Northern Kingdom be working, bro.
The majority.
Be working. The majority.
Yeah, they're a majority. Just keep it real.
That's it. So no, that's not. It's not racist. Is why they're hiring them. Go ahead, come on.
So they're coming. You say they're coming in with a racist attitude and hire nothing but their people group and want to cut out African Americans. So how can we counter that?
Well, first off, to counter that, you would be able to contact ICE, NSA, whoever you need to contact, to let them know that you have illegal immigrants working in facilities. They have made that so hard to do here. You can't just call, you can't just go online because they want too much information for that illegal immigrant, which is, it makes no sense. You should be able to call and say, hey, look, this business has illegal immigrants working here. You have illegal immigrants living above this business, living in the back of this business. You're unable to do that because they've made it hard for anybody to report illegal immigrants.
So based on what I researched, a lot of research, the majority of the illegal immigrants are coming from Central America, you know, like your El Salvador's, your Nicaragua. You got, you know, some coming from Honduras right now, and they're trying to, you know, come into the country. Why is it you feel they're leaving their countries and feel that it's okay to come here and make a better living?
Because Hispanics had told them, hey, come here. We can hook you up with jobs. It's just as simple as that. You have in California.
So now legal immigrants have hiring power. We hook you up with jobs. Come on, go ahead.
Have a huge population of homeless Americans. These are American citizens living on the streets. You don't see any illegal immigrants living on the streets because they're housed.
And I saw a lot of black people on the street. And
Stop. It's because 10 of them live in a one-bedroom apartment.
Right.
Yo, they stay down till they come up.
Right. They stay down till they come up. That's it. Go ahead.
It quite shocked me.
Yeah. There's a lot. There's millions of American citizens living on the streets in California. Whereas illegal immigrants come here and instantly get hooked up with a job.
And this, I'm sorry, D. This irritates me because the brother failed to realize that he's standing on Northern Kingdom land. It's a Carlet. How are they illegal aliens when you're standing on property that was stolen? It just irritates me. This is a prime example.
That's Eurocentrism. That's Eurocentrism. And that's a result of racial idolatry from Christianity.
Bring it out.
Right. Said all he had to do was sit this one out. Don't say nothing. Don't do nothing.
God damn it.
Was that it on the video? Does he say any more commentary? That was it? That was it. Okay, that was it. That was it. So let me get the what else did I have on this? I think I put some links. Do I have videos? Wait, I do have videos. Hold on. There's other videos I got on this in particular.
There's a few videos of Ephraim's sister.
You know, no, you had another one up that had some videos in a layout. Yeah, go there. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. We're going to show a bunch of videos before I get to the historical piece. Damn, man, I'm trying to do this where I could get through everything. So I can bring it full circle. I hate doing two topics. No, let me see. No, I don't want to go to those two chicks yet because that's when I do the flip side, right? That's when I do the flip side. I'm trying to concentrate on what does that one say? I can't see. Let me look here. No, I don't want to go to that one. No, go back. We're gonna flip it on that one too. But go ahead, go back. I'm trying to see you. Don't open it. I can see it from here. Let me get the Operation Wetback and then the Mexican Indigenous and then wife deported. We're going to show all of them. If I don't get to some of the stuff, I just won't get to it. There's a lot more I want to talk about this topic anyway, so it might not be a part 2, but it'll be a carry-on. Go ahead. So stop. So he talk about citizens and all this other stuff, right? Look at this. Over 1 million people vanished from American neighborhoods in 1954. The government tried to cover it up. Play. The U.S. launched Operation Wetback. You don't have to stop. One of history's largest mass deportations. Children came home from school to find their parents had disappeared without a trace. Stop for a second. Stop.
God.
Can you imagine that?
Hell no.
Can you imagine that?
What do you do?
And then all the children from the neighborhood walk out onto like the street. None of them got parents. Like, what are we gonna do?
Don't that sound like the Twilight Zone episode?
It do.
No,
The
that's
body
real life.
some stuff.
That's real life. 1954. Go ahead, come on. Agents stormed communities without warning, taking anyone who looked Mexican, even U.S. citizens. Stop. This was 1954. What does that sound like is happening now?
Nothing new.
2025.
I'm going to show you a 2025 after this. Go ahead, come on. They packed people into trains and trucks in 112-degree heat. Many didn't survive the journey.
They were killing people.
The same government that begged workers to come during World War II now violently expelled them. Entire families lost everything. The operation's name remains a racist slur and is the same rhetoric used to justify deportations today. Operation Wetback, all right? U.S. citizens were scooped up and sent back as well with no recourse and killed. Some of them died in transit, and these were people that they wanted to stay. And then there was something that came out recently where Trump had told them, damn, because farmers, hotels, and meatpacking companies said, we have no workers now because you're deporting people. They won't show up to work. He said, you're going to cripple the industry. So then he told them ease up on the places. And then because of the hatred and racism, they told him, no, go ahead, go back. So because it looks like a double standard.
Right.
Right? He's trying to make it seem like it's not. Now, no, before you go to that one, show me 2025, families being taken away. Show that one, wife deported. Remember, they told you do it legally, right? Do it legally. That's his wife. She showed up to court. Look, listen. He said the fucking government. Bean chick. He said, my daughters are waiting for us at home. 6 girls I have who depend on us. She is the mother, yes. And why are they taking her? Because let they come. He said they dropped the case. It's what they're doing right now. He said, don't come. Don't come because they'll take everything away. Stop. Meaning she went to her hearing.
Right.
They're giving them notices. Come, we're going to process your citizenship. And the ICE is waiting for you. And they drop the case, and then when you leave,
war was in his
That's smoother than
ICE
smoother
deports
than
you.
butter.
Yep.
Damn.
And he left with his wife, probably happy that they were making progress on their case.
Right.
And doing it legally. And he's going to go home without the kid's mom. Go ahead.
Allá arriba mucho de migración esperando que les tumben el caso para llevárselos. ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? Eduardo Duarte. ¿Y ella cómo se llama? Luz del Carmen Herrera. ¿Qué pasó?
So her case was dropped and be taken away.
Look how they look at this transport
She said, I'm
vehicle.
suffocating. Look at the transport. Stop. Pause. Can you see that little ass closet that they sit them in?
Yo, this is crazy. It's like they criminals.
Like animals, man.
Yeah.
Yep. Go ahead. I'm getting an anxiety attack, love.
Okay, I'm sorry. D. They got that thing split, so you don't even get to stretch your legs out. Look how it's split in the middle.
No, and then you're
I was
cuffed behind.
saying, Look at the holes in the top, the
Yeah.
breathing
That's what I'm
holes.
saying. Yo, that looks like a animal control truck.
It's like a box you put like a hamster in.
Right.
Like, and you poke little holes in it or something like that. Bro, and can you imagine?
Golly.
They're closing this door on her, and he's standing there, and she's calling out to him. She's like, I'm getting anxiety.
He can't do
And
nothing.
you got no might in your hand.
No
Deuteronomy
might.
30,
30,
28,
Yes, it
32.
is. Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Read it. Read it.
That's
We're gonna finish the
crazy.
video. Read it though. You just said that. Read it. Hold on, Benson.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. And there shall be no might in thine hand.
And there'll be no might in thy hand to do anything. What were you gonna say, Benson?
I was gonna say this reminds me of the transport of how they was doing like on X-Men, how they had like the same type of style vans.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
How, those aliens. Those
yeah,
X-Men.
the X-Men's a whole like it's a similitude for like the civil rights movement and everything like that. So that like we're the X-Men.
Yes.
Right.
Like we're the X-Men.
Right.
On both sides.
Go ahead, play. And then he got to control himself because they're locked him up, and then his daughters is home alone.
Yeah.
But the way he just touched his wife and it, bro, he almost swung on him.
Listen, bro.
You was about to get
Imagine yourself.
molly, bro.
Imagine yourself in that situation.
Yeah, yeah. The
had
first
some
time I saw, it, I got a little choked up. Go ahead.
Exactly. They're not animals.
Right. And this is what's going on. And sometimes it's kids. Like I was reading accounts where they'll take the parent and the kid's on the street. And like they'll leave the kid there.
Like literally leave the kids.
Yeah.
Hey, Deke.
Yeah.
I found a short.
And they're coming in plain clothes a lot of times. They're not wearing ice. They get wearing masks. It's like a movie. It's like Taken.
Yeah, they smoother than butter.
Yep. You said you want to show another video?
Yeah,
because
it's
y'all
going
talk
about,
because
it's going about what you're talking about right now.
I'll step out for a sec.
It's called, I posted it on the group, guys, General. It's called ICE Raid Elementary School Graduation. Let's play that real quick. Go ahead.
This is crazy, yo. I didn't think this was about to affect me like this. But our neighbor's school, y'all know I work at a school. Fuck. Our neighboring school, I think it's Gratas, I don't know how to say it. It's Gratas or something like that. They were having their graduation. And there's helicopters in the sky.
That's it? Oh, no. Hold up.
Yeah, that's
Bear
crazy,
with us.
man.
Yo, this is crazy. Let me see if I can find the full version. Yeah.
Yeah, they cut that video hella short because there was a lot more that he went into regarding what was happening during a children's ceremony.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this. This
I'm gonna
is
send you
tragic.
another one. It's going on into what Deke was saying earlier, how they come in and taking the parents and the kids just left to their own. Y'all found one? Kind of fast forwarded to, yeah. Let's play that.
This is there. This is the story that I'm hearing. And, you know, our school goes on lockdown. Our principal, you know, tells us it's a drill, but we know it's not a drill. And, you know, I had to come outside. It's my break. We kind of got like off of a soft lockdown. And, you know, parents had to run out because they don't have papers, and they had to leave their kids because the kids do. What type of shit is this, yo? And then kids are freaking grabbing teachers and crying on their leg because they don't know if they're about to see their parents when they get home. What the fuck is this? And we voted for this shit?
So now let's read that Deuteronomy.
Got picked up on Wilshire at the Home Depot.
This is
On Wilshire.
crazy. So these
Pause it.
elementary children at a graduation, man. They planned this at a graduation, waiting for the graduation to run in and take the parents, but they couldn't take the kids because they have the documents, and the parents was running out. So where are these kids going now?
You know what that makes me think of? When we read in the Maccabees, they knew our laws, right? And how on the Sabbath day it was a day of rest, peace, right? And when they try to come and attack us, on the Sabbath.
On the Sabbath?
They look for vulnerable points, and they sacrifice morals just to take advantage of it as an opportunity for war. That's crazy, man. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them.
In this case, the kids, both ways, as they're running, they're like, I gotta do this because I can't get taken away from my kids. They're for longing, man. Just think about the mindset that they're going through at that moment, especially those children.
And remember what we said earlier, this stuff, the trauma follows us.
Boom.
And the scars of our captivity, it hits both of us. All right? And when I say both of them, I'm talking about Southern and Northern Kingdom. Like, we can't, like, how can you look at this and then be like, yo, let me call ICE on them?
Hatred.
That's that stony heart that's got to be removed.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Hatred, man.
You done with what your point was?
Yeah.
Let's go back. Let me see the rest of the video logs that we got. Okay. I said do that one, and then we'll do, what did I say after that? No, we did that one already. Then we'll do, no, we won't do colorism and whitening the race until we talk about blanqueamiento. Okay, so do this one. Do this one. Go ahead. What if one word erased millions of indigenous people from history? Mexico's census claims that only 51.1% of Mexicans are indigenous, but DNA tests reveal the truth. 93% of Mexicans carry native ancestry. That's over 100 million indigenous people hidden in plain sight. How? The word mestizo changed their identity overnight. Native identity erased with a single label. The world's largest indigenous population did not disappear, they were reclassified. Today, this same tactic continues across Latin America, making native populations invisible. So they talk about, and this is going to segue into, I'm going to show a couple of the videos first because I want to talk about el blanqueamiento. You hear a lot about when it comes to the hate towards Northern Kingdom. No, well, they're not indigenous. Those are the Spaniards. But you see how just from something as simple and crafty as a reclassification, a label not only makes everybody else think that all the indigenous were wiped out, you're raised with that label. So now you claim you're something else.
MBA.
Right? MBA?
That's what they
FBA.
did with MBA, right? Or is it FBA?
FBA? Foundational Black Americans?
FBA.
FBA.
Right.
Or the mindset that many Latinos want to claim Spain as a heritage because of that labeling. So when you grow up with that, you move with that, right? Just like you could see that FBA allegedly sit there and talk about American citizens, this, that, and the other. Like, are you crazy? Like, what has this country ever done for you? In the way that we're treated, we're all black. In the way that these things are set up, right? So something as subtle as a reclassification, just a changing of a label through the process of time makes you lose that identity as well. And you forget who you are, right? And you forget who you are. Now, before you get to that, on the flip side, right? Northern Kingdom, Latinos need to acknowledge the same things that Southern Kingdom have been fighting for. If it wasn't for Southern Kingdom leading the way with the civil rights movement, right? And the experience that they have in fighting these type of things, right? Although you see some of them like that old lion kind of couching down at this point, because the illusion of inclusion. Can you put up the video screen again? Take that down. I'm trying to look at the log. Let's go to Latino hate against blacks first. Yep, let's do that one first.
Like an older Mexican man won't let his daughter date a black man, but she could date a white man.
Because of the skin color.
It's almost sad because they say para mejorar la raza.
Yeah,
That's what they be saying.
To better the race.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
Fucked up, bro. They're fucked up,
So when my grandma moved to the city and my grandpa moved to the city and they met, my grandma automatically just seemed better because she was with this guy from Michoacan that was light skinned and white with green eyes. And she looked like Felipe, dark, short. And that she thought she was better, fool.
Stop. So they call it mejor la raza, bettering the race, right? Yeah. That's the modern way to say it. But you have to understand that comes from origins that was indoctrinated into us, right? Again, there's that Eurocentrism at play, right? You see it here. You saw it on one side. I started with Southern Kingdom. Now you see Northern Kingdom's on the same bullshit, right? Go ahead, come on.
And I swear to God, for my grandma just passed, but she loved my nephew more than she loved my niece. Like,
right. So he's saying, like, you think you're high and mighty because you're dating or gonna marry somebody more light skinned. Drop that. Let me see what else we got here. Now I want you to put that one, and then we'll do the other one after that, right? And then I think that's all of those. Go ahead, do this one.
People are tired of being a bank where everyone keeps making withdrawals. And
So stop. So she's giving a little perspective, and Northern Kingdom Latinos need to listen to this and understand. This is her response to the black community not wanting to step up for the ICE thing, right? Go ahead, come on.
Deposit. And I want you to think about that. If that was your setup, would you still want to give? Especially for those of us in the Hispanic community, because it's about patterns that we've inherited and the harm that we've ignored.
Stop. patterns we've inherited and harm that we've ignored. The harm that we've ignored, I'll deal with that part first. We don't acknowledge that we're the same people on that end either. All right, a lot of times. And what we've inherited is because this thing goes deeper. And until you acknowledge that this is something that was bred in us through generations on both ends, we're not going to be able to see past those walls for those of us who have that issue.
Right.
Right. So when I hear that from somebody that's Southern Kingdom, I know that that's inherited. Right. And he's bought into the Eurocentrism. And when I hear somebody on Northern Kingdom, not realizing that both sides are perpetuating exactly the white superiority that they want you to do.
Yep.
Right. That's the real racial idolatry. We're trying to cast that down with the scriptures to bring unity as one people and one nation, right? With one culture that we need to move back to. And you see this effect of that Eurocentricity on both sides. Go ahead, come on.
Myself, I'm Puerto Rican. I've seen how anti-blackness and colorism still show up in our homes, in our language, in our media, in our families. In many families, darker skin is treated like a disadvantage. When solidarity is needed, hesitation shows what's been internalized, and too many of us were raised to believe that aligning with blackness meant losing something: safety, opportunity, acceptance. And we were taught the proximity to whiteness would protect us, that staying quiet was safer. So if we don't unlearn that, we end up repeating the same harm.
So stop. Let me tell you something. Now, that wasn't everyone, right? Because you had the Young Lords, you had the Brown Berets, you had AIM that did join and rise up with Judah during those times, which goes to show you that there is a remembrance of those things. There is a thing where you see that unity and that galvanization. And I'm going to tell you something right now. And if you want to look at it from this way, nobody can show me in 2025 or even the last 20 years any movement that's bringing blacks and Latinos together like IUIC.
Facts. No bomb.
They're still crying over the mom being taken away. No, think about it. From the civil rights and when that got crushed down to today, there's never been another movement of unity between blacks and Latinos like you see right now with IUIC.
Not at all.
Uniting under one cause, under one standard, under one movement, one body, one people for the same goals. The betterment and the unity of our people, the prayer and hope and salvation of the Black Messiah coming back to save his people as he promised in these last days, so long as we have the patience to unite and keep these commandments together. There's no organizations out there that are trying to band together both sides. They're not. And if there's any that have the idea of doing it, they're tainted by trying to bring the white man into the picture. There's none. Stop and think about that. The only time that we've seen that in modern times, and I would say that was the last time, because she said they stood silent. We didn't come anymore for black causes after the Lords and the Brown Berets and the Panthers and AIM were together. After that, everybody was on their own. I'm going to go my way. You're going to go your way. We're going to try to, I'm going to get mines.
Right.
And we didn't look out for each other's causes. And IUIC and the Bible, the pure doctrine, the true doctrine, is the only thing right now that's trying to make that effort, not just here in the United States, but globally.
Not even try doing. We're doing it.
We are doing it. You're right. There is no try. We're doing it. Painstakingly sometimes.
Right.
But it's being done. And we'll not be deterred from doing it.
Right.
And we will not be deterred from doing it.
Because it's prophecy.
And the difference, too, is because we, like you said earlier, we're using this as the foundation. So when they killed Malcolm X, when they killed all the leaders of these other movements, they try to what they say, smite the shepherd and the sheep will scatter.
Yes.
The difference is our king can't be touched. You can't, the true Christ can't be touched. So you could try to kill any one of the leaders which you deem as the one that's moving the movement, but what you don't see is there is a foundation, which is Christ, the apostles, that everything is established on. It's gonna go forward.
It is gonna go forward. It is. Okay, keep playing her.
Stand against. So disengagement is not okay. What's happening to immigrant communities right now is devastating. I'm not taking away from that, and it does deserve compassion and support. But a good portion of that fear didn't come from distant forces, and it came from within our own communities. I've spoken out because I've watched people I know support systems that were never created for us to begin with. Systems that weren't designed to protect us, only to use us when it's convenient. So while I've raised my voice, I also know too many that have stayed silent, or worse, they chose power. We don't get to ask for empathy if we're unwilling to confront the harm our silence helped protect. And contrary to popular opinion, holding each other accountable isn't betrayal. It's how we begin to heal. So to the Black women and men that are saying we've poured into everybody and got nothing back, you're not wrong. You've carried movements, you've carried communities, you've carried generations without rest, without complaint, without question. And we cannot undo the silence that already has happened, but we can take responsibility for what happens next. I think people are not realizing we have way more similarities than differences, and we have more power together than we do apart. So look to your Black brother or sister, look at them and say thank you, and I see you. Simple as that. Strike up a conversation, get to understand, because that's all they're asking for, to be seen and to be appreciated for all they do.
Hey, and that's like when the scripture says a threefold cord is not easily broken, right? She's speaking about that disengagement. I'm going to address it in a minute, but I want to show one more video. I think I got one more video to show. And the scripture gives that call out to us as well. Remember what I said about there's no other movement right now other than IUIC that's trying to unite so-called Black and brown, Latinos and Blacks together under one cause.
Right.
That's really applying that Zephaniah 2:1 about gathering ourselves together, right? But gathering ourselves together under this, right? This was the last one here, right? No, I know I got the colorism one when I go to the blanqueamiento, but I think, okay, yes. So this one. Go ahead, play this.
La única comunidad que nos va a sacar de este hueco se llaman los negros americanos.
So she said the only ones that's going to help us get out of this mess that's going on with immigration and ICE is the Black American. The Black American, right? Go ahead, come on.
100%. African American community is the only community that has the power in this country to change anything. They are the only one with the experience of civil matter. They are the only one que tenían el esclavo ahí mismitico. They are the only one that are not going to get deported anywhere, and you cannot put them all in jail. So African American community, which is the community that is stepped on by Cubans, the most are the only ones that are going to save the Latinos. And I clap for the African American community that has not come out because it is not. I do. We didn't do shit for them.
I get it. But I don't.
Me and you support, but in masses, we didn't support anything that was going with them. Latinos look at Cubans specifically. I'm not gonna talk about any other community because I'm not part of that community, even though I'm a Latina with them. Cubans talk shit about African Americans.
It's true.
Cubans did not support African Americans. Cubans think that they all victimize themselves, that all of this, all of that. African Americans are the only ones that are going to save your asses, Latinos. So you better start kissing. If you're going to kiss some ass in this country, you better kiss some black ass.
Oh, praises, oh, praise. Give me that Judah, that brethren shall praise. And let me tell you something. She said, she's not wrong.
Right.
She said the Black American is the only way we're gonna get saved.
Right.
And it's just not in the way that she thinks. All right. It says the tents of Judah will be raised first. That's the one that's gonna build us up and guide us and bring things back to our remembrance, that fighting spirit, to come back together and be unified. But it has to be embraced on all fronts. Did you find it?
You want Zechariah 12 or you want Genesis 49?
I think it's 49. Genesis. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah.
Right. That's what I say. So it's not just like the way prophecy stays intact, not even just fulfilled sometimes, is not always in the way that you think. So she's not wrong. She's not even religious at all. I don't know. So I was telling him she used to be in porn or something like that. So whatever the case may be. But you know what? You have Rahab.
Yeah.
Right? That was forgiven. You have the one that the hoe that Christ saved and says sin no more. Right. Because we wanted to reach out to her so that we could give that understanding, because apparently she has a platform. So we're trying to see if we could get up with her and bring this message dealing with that, but from a biblical perspective, right? But go ahead, come on.
The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come.
Right, until Christ's return, letting you know that in every iteration, through every captivity, Judah would have to rise first, but then Northern Kingdom would have to fall in line behind that and acknowledge it. She said, they the ones that got the experience with civil rights. And not just that, if they stand up and help and have a voice and unite with us behind these type of things, they can't be deported.
Right.
It's hard for Northern Kingdom to go and protest when they're being deported. Right? Go ahead, come on.
And unto him shall be the gathering of the people.
And unto him will be the gathering of the people, the nation of Israel. Go ahead, come on.
Of the people be. Verse 8, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise.
That's what she's talking about. You better kiss some black ass. She said, thou art he, so thy brethren shall praise. Go ahead, come on.
Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies.
She said, they're the ones that have the experience of fighting for civil rights. Go ahead, come on.
Thy father's children shall bow down before thee.
The Israelites, meaning will bow down to Christ through the seed of Judah, right? And understanding that we're going to acknowledge that this is where that authority, that spirit is going to come back to us to remember, because we had it once upon a time, but we disengaged, like the other sister said, right? But we disengaged. That in that verse?
Yeah, did you want verse 9?
Nope, I don't. Now, I want Psalm 94, and we're going to start at 12, and we're going to go down to 16, right? But we have to remember this. Like I said, IUIC is the only movement that's going worldwide, not just here in the United States, bringing this to people's attention so that we can, and it's not just fighting their sandbox of politics.
Right.
I think part of that's the wrong thing. I think you're not going to be able to move these governments to do much
at all.
At all. So we have to remember, you can't trust in the shadow of Egypt. The unifying this time has to be under these scriptures. Go ahead, come on.
The book of Psalms, chapter 94 and verse 12. Blessed is the man whom thou chastenest, O Lord, and teaches him out of thy law.
Right, so we're being chastised, both sides, right? Because let's not forget all the turmoil that was happening before this ICE stuff years ago under Trump's first administration, right? You had all these different things going on. And, Black Lives Matter, that wasn't the movement, but they came to notoriety. Where are they now?
Right.
What are they doing? Because it wasn't about the law. Notice he says that. You're chastised, but he says, you'll teach them out of thy law. In your affliction, you'll seek me early, right? Go ahead, come on.
That thou mayest give him rest from the days of adversity.
It's not about let's try to change legislation. It don't matter. Because he's not listening to the Constitution even. Judges have told him, no, you can't do that, and they're still doing it.
Right. Say, watch me.
They're taking up U.S. citizens. You know, I'm not going to show it for the sake of time, but there was a video. Maybe I'll show it next week. And let me tell you how jacked up it is and how it's racial profiled. Even if you're a citizen and you look very ethnic, you're not white passing.
Right.
This is the conundrum that you're in. And it's a little underreported, but I've seen multiple cases of it. As a U.S. citizen, you don't have to carry proof of your citizenship. As a non-citizen, you have to carry proof of your citizenship. Meaning, of your residency. Resident card, whatever it is, right? Visa, green card, all that stuff. If you get stopped, they cannot, since you're a U.S. citizen, all you have is your license, you don't have to, and you don't have to carry documentation to verify your citizenship.
Right.
They can't validate your citizenship on the spot or won't. They can detain you. And that's what's happening to citizens.
Which is
profiling. So if you're a citizen that got an accent, don't speak English too clearly, whatever it might be.
Right.
Now, you won't get deported because it'll take some days, but they'll validate your citizenship, right? Whether through the system or they'll get somebody that can bring proof of papers or whatever it is. But in the meantime, you spend 3-4 days up to a week in an ICE detention center,
right,
until they can prove your citizenship.
Now your family's been affected by the money you're not making. Now you've got, it's affecting
might have your job. Maybe you couldn't even depending on the phone call that you get to make. If you get to make one,
right?
Who do you contact? Right, because they're denying due process in a lot of cases, right? So don't think that this is something that's just affecting people who are illegal immigrants.
Right.
U.S. citizens that are being racially profiled are getting caught up in this stuff. So let me tell you something. If you look real Hispanic, you look real Latino, you got a little bit of an accent, I think you should start carrying your passport or get a passport card because you won't get sent out the country, but you're going to get detained for a few days until they can validate you if you get stopped for racial profiling.
That's that a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hide it themselves.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
Bro, that's crazy stuff that's going on,
that's
right?
insane.
So I'm just talking about a little bit of the days of adversity, right? But go ahead, read 13 again.
Verse 13, that thou mayest give him rest from the days of adversity, until the pit be digged for the wicked.
Right, because remember, it says that things are being held back, hurt not the earth until those are sealed. But at the same time that we're being sealed, the pit's being digged for the wicked. Go ahead, come on.
For the Lord will not cast off his people.
He will not cast off his people, come on.
Neither will he forsake his inheritance.
And likewise, we should not cast off our people. We should not cast off our brothers. We should not forsake our inheritance because our inheritance is collective. It's 12 gates with the names of the 12 tribes.
Right.
It's 12,000 from each tribe. Go ahead, come on.
But judgment shall return unto righteousness,
Uh-huh.
and all the upright in heart shall follow it.
And we unify and we come behind uprightness. We will unify and all of us will follow it. Come on.
Who will rise up for me against the evil?
But we must prophesy against these wicked kingdoms, against these wicked things that's going on, and teach our people to repent. The law and the testimony. The law and the testimony. Anybody who don't speak according to that, there's no light in them. Go ahead, come on.
Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?
Right. Or who will stand up for him against the workers of iniquity? That is what we must do, and that is what we must fulfill. And that's the difference between the movements that you saw during the civil rights era and what we're doing now in these days. Some people will say, well, they made more traction. That was of the Lord. Yes, all praises. Their efforts paved the way for us to be here right now speaking this thing. But that is not our way to salvation anymore.
That part.
What we need to do is show people this adversity, teach them to obey the law, and that following this in uprightness is going to deliver us from these things in this last days. Any reprieve, because that's all it'll be that we get now here, is just that, a reprieve, a pause. But the adversity comes. It's the pause and labor pains. It's the different thing that's going to go on, right? And it all stems from that wicked mindset that we have. I'm going to have to follow up on this next week because it's getting late and I don't want to keep people here. But I want to segue in and show one of the... I'm going to show... what's the other one say about the Puerto Ricans? They're deporting Puerto Ricans. Put that one, and then we're going to show the colorismo and whitening the race.
One of those places that allows undocumented immigrants to get a driver's license. Well, now the Trump administration is asking the Puerto Rican government to hand over the names and addresses of the about 6,000 immigrants who have gotten a license here so they can deport them. That's what the agent who leads HSI in Puerto Rico told NPR. The question is whether the Puerto Rican government will hand over that information. That's where it gets interesting because anti-immigrant rhetoric from politicians in Puerto Rico is not really a thing. Quite the opposite. This is the governor of Puerto Rico. She usually speaks highly of the Dominican community. Most immigrants in Puerto Rico are Dominican. And she's on record saying things like they have contributed to our economy and our culture. But she's also a Trump supporter. So when she was asked to reconcile those two things, she said that the Dominican community in Puerto Rico didn't have to worry because President Trump wasn't thinking about them. He was worried about the southern border in the United States. And when the raids started happening in Puerto Rico, she said the administration was focused on deporting people with criminal records. But here's what we know now. The vast majority of the people who have been deported from Puerto Rico had no criminal record. And the Trump administration's stated goal is to deport every single undocumented immigrant in Puerto Rico. The agent from HSI told NPR, our mandate is 100%. The governor has not publicly said if they will turn over the information, but they did acknowledge the request. And in the past, the governor has said that Puerto Rico cannot afford to not comply with executive orders because federal funding is at stake.
Right, so this is happening in Puerto Rico. How come you guys didn't put the Laz Alonso clip? That was in the archive. I told you everything from they're down. Job said he had to just re-forward it to you. How come that's not here? I told you put all my stuff that I had there, and that's not here. Why? Because Job put it?
Damn.
Nah, that's Miho's fault. He
Miho.
kind of tribus.
Damn, he perpetuating what we talking about right now.
Class is cutting him.
Damn. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a follow. I'm not gonna call it part 2 because people don't watch part 2s, but it's gonna have a similar theme. We still got to deal with the rest of the captivity and covenant. But let me show this, and then I'm gonna move to close a little bit. All right, but go ahead.
The thing that I feel like we as black people get caught up in.
If you don't know who Laz Alonso is, all right, and he with it. He's Cuban. Both his parents are Cuban. All right, Manessa. But notice he's saying we as black people. He's speaking it. You know, sometimes I'll say that and people look at it funny because I'm clearly not black complexion wise, right? But they don't get it. But I'm black.
Right.
Right? I'm black. And I don't mean that in a cultural appropriation way or whatever, because our culture is Israelite culture.
Right.
Right? I'm black. Okay? And black is not a color. That's the whole point that I'm trying to make up. Right? It's an experience. It's a shared collective of what we've dealt with together under the curses that the scripture talks about that pursues us.
It's an inheritance.
The scars of captivity is in my DNA just like it is in your DNA. Right? So he's making a solid point here when he talks about this, all right? And it has to be accepted from both sides of the aisle. Go ahead, come on.
Separates us as opposed to uniting us. We get caught up in where the ship dropped us off versus where the ship picked us up.
Stop. You hear what he said there?
It's heavy.
We getting caught up in where the ship dropped us off versus where it picked us up. He's letting you know, he's hipping you without saying it in so many words. Our origins are the same.
Right.
Our origins are the same. Just at different times and different places geographically did we serve our captivity. But we served it together. Go ahead, come on. Sometimes quite literally together in the same fields and together at the same times. Go ahead, come on.
We all come from the same root. It's just a tree with different branches.
Stop. You already said the tree with different branches. I'm going to have to show this again next week. So that goes into Romans 11.
Yep.
Right? Go ahead, come on.
That picked up your ancestors, picked up my ancestors. Only they dropped yours off here. They made a pit stop in the Caribbean and dropped mine off. But my ancestors still dealt with slavery. You know, still dealt with being, you know, having their family and their lives ripped from them and having to come back from colonialism and slavery. You know, so, and it's not just African Americans, it's Afro-Cubans, it's Afro-Dominicans, it's Afro-Puerto Ricans. Like, all these people got to get out of their colonialized minds and stop thinking, oh, I'm not this, I'm this. I'm black. You know what I'm saying? And I'm dealing with the same struggle. So we all gotta unite and fight for the struggle together because we're all dealing with the exact same struggle.
Stop. But here's where they fall short. First of all, even the Afro thing is labels. And it creates division, right? That's why we have to use these biblical terms and our biblical names. And I know that we'll use those terms because that's the colloquial term that people understand.
Right.
But that goes into the labeling, right? Remember what we saw with the Mexican. It's not just there. It's all in Central Latin America with that labeling. We have to be able to look past that. And he said, we're all in the same struggle.
Right.
We're all in the same struggle. And that's the ties that bind us. That's the ties that bind us. Now, before I show this last clip about the colorismo, I want to pull one thing that I had posted here. And I can't remember exactly where I had it. Hold on a second. Let me see if I got it here. Show that last clip while we do this. What about the colorismo? So a lot of this on the Northern Kingdom side stems from this, right? And I'll show you that. back to the beginning. Sorry. I'm still looking for my point. So it says, before you play, let me read this part. For over 150 years, Latin American government paid immigrants to breed out their darker-skinned citizens.
What was that term the abuela was using? The Mexican woman that they were saying, the term that they used?
Mejor la raza.
That's what that is, right?
Yes, this is where it comes from.
So they were paid to do this originally.
The Europeans that were colonizing us were paid to breed out the dark-skinned citizens, meaning they were paid to marry or rape and have children with them.
That's crazy.
Go ahead. It was called Blancamiento, a racist campaign to whiten entire populations. Brazil alone brought in 4 million Europeans, offering them free land, cash, housing, and bonuses. Scientists created charts claiming that it took 3 generations with whites to purify native and black blood. Now stop for a second. Scientists sat down and said it would only take 3 generations to purify. What they meant by that is that it only took 3 generations for everybody to start coming out more light-skinned. Doesn't mean that they were no longer Israel. We understand how the
seed work.
Yep. Right? So for people whose argument is, how come you're so light and you're so dark? The way the captivities were served, it was frowned upon during the slave trade here, what they call the transatlantic slave trade. It was frowned upon to have children.
Right.
They would rape the slaves and stuff like that, but it was seen as a shameful thing to have children with blacks.
Right.
They were incentivized to have children with indigenous and dark blacks in Latin America. And if it only takes 3 generations, what's the average age? 80?
Right.
So what are you saying? 200-300 years and everybody starts coming out lighter?
Right.
Not that far-fetched to think that there's a difference. And again, I'm going to have to unpack this more next week to tie it all together. But I also had the video when we were in Puerto Rico that spoke about that, how in the slavery in mainland United States, it was frowned upon. So it wasn't something that was very done openly or pushed versus what happened under Blancamiento, where it was incentivized for them to do it. Right? So just a little subtle thing, because how did it look so different? Now you run it all the way back, and next week we'll talk in detail about historically and how much we were deep with the Assyrians, and you start seeing how we started looking different, heavy from the outset.
What was that chart? Remember the chart where it talks about how it would return back to the...
Yeah, that's the castas.
Okay.
They knew all that. And they did that so that they could keep track of this movement.
But so if they knew all of that and they could keep track of it, their goal was never to purify the race. It was to cause confusion of faith.
Yes.
Because they knew if we were confused, we could never unify.
Yes.
Right. That's heavy.
Yep. Go ahead. It was predicted that the native and black people would disappear by 2012 through forced whitening. In Argentina, the black population dropped from 33% to just 1%. Stop. Now, part of that was relabeling. And part of that was because of them bringing more white people there and displacing the indigenous. Go ahead. Many indigenous communities were torn apart as lighter-skinned siblings were given more rights than their darker-skinned ones. So there was this whole process in how they did this stuff. What I'm trying to do is for us to understand the lengths of the colorism and why you see such seemingly stark differences in appearance sometimes.
Right.
But still realizing that the struggle's the same. Remember what Alonzo said? You're more concerned about where they dropped you off versus where they picked you up from.
Yeah, that was heavy.
Realizing that we're all coming from the same place, the same origin, right? And it's that same tree. Remember how we said that? It's like different trees, right? And that's the castas. I want to leave you guys with this, right? Let's get 1 Kings 12 and 19 so you can see how it started long ago. And then we're going to run this back. 12, read 19 and 20. And then we'll spend more time on it next week. 1 Kings 12, 19, 20.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 12 and verse 19. So Israel rebelled against the house of David unto this day.
Meaning the northern kingdom rebelled against the house of David until this day. Go ahead, come on.
And it came to pass, when all Israel heard that Jeroboam was come again, that they sent and called him unto the congregation, and made him king over all Israel. There was none that followed the house of David, but the tribe of Judah only.
And that is significant because what it's letting you know is that that's how customs started to change amongst us.
Right.
Because the only one, and at that time it was just Judah. Later you had Benjamin, and then Levi wound up coming because we kicked them all out, the ones that were with us, right? So what it's telling you is that there was nobody that stood to the true culture, the true customs, other than Judah only. They stayed true to it. And that was the beginning and the seeds of division, right? But again, think of the struggles, the social parallels, right? Police brutality, the incarceration, the poverty that we share, and the inequality across the board, right? It affects both Black and Latino communities. The system doesn't ask you if you're Judah or you're Ephraim, right? It sees you as the same. So how come we have a problem seeing each other the same?
Damn. No bomb.
They're crying back there. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with
that. That was heavy. You got to say that again, D.
I said the system doesn't ask you if you're Judah or Ephraim. They don't look at the difference. They see you and treat you the same in how we're processed and how we're done. And that was the point of me showing you all that ICE stuff. Right? So you have to look at it that way. You have to see it that way. Lord's will, next week, we're going to go deeper into the covenant part. We're going to go into the bit with the Jeremiah 50, right? We're going to go New Testament and Old Testament, right? And kind of put it all together and show you some different things as we look at it and have more discussion, all right? We'll run some of these segments back just to put a little memory into you with that stuff, all right? Let's put up our housekeeping and our closeouts, all right? We lost Ruda Brew.
Ray left his Bible and everything.
Yeah, he not feeling too good. Send up prayers for Ruvain. He not feeling too great.
Dang.
Prayers.
He made the face that I can't do it no more. Where we at? Where the QR codes? Where you want me to just sign off? What happened? Did we lose people?
No.
What's going on? Dang, he sound frustrated. You heard him? No. He's like, these freaking guys.
So guys, ladies and gentlemen, scan that. Let us know how BT did. Did they do good? Did they do bad? Hey, but we're all trying to get better. So let us know. Comment there. Scan that code.
Hey, and let me just say something. I forgot to mention this. We haven't been pushing the Zoom really. All right. And I know some of you would liking to call in. Because some of y'all are messed up and nasty, man.
In the head, bro.
I heard, was it last week or the week before? I heard people was calling in. First of all, it was just all types of weird stuff.
Right.
And I'm just gonna put it out there so nobody. We screen everything, and I want you to pray for IT. I don't want to get on IT too much because they got to deal with the screening now of the Zoom calls. Why was there a brother masturbating when he zoomed in, hoping that we would put him on the air, showing him masturbating?
Crazy, right? Our people. It was our people too.
With niggas, I mean nigga people.
It was Judah.
What happened?
What happened to the unity?
We're running on a good note.
That's how we're gonna end it.
What happened to the unity? What happened to the unity?
Oh man,
that, man.
Yeah, man. Our people are sick, bro. So we needed to give IT a break,
right?
So that they don't have to screen freaking pornographic
African Americans.
You pick up the Zoom, dude just masturbating on a trying to get on the air.
Our people.
Y'all pray for IT.
Why does it do evil?
Y'all pray for IT. Go ahead, hit the socials.
Hey, so if you haven't,
we can't have nice
yet,
things, bro. I try to open it up so people can zoom in. But I'm hesitant to do it now because they might call in and masturbate.
It's always someone in Israel messing it up.
Go ahead.
So if you haven't followed us yet, follow us now. We got YouTube, we got TikTok, we got Instagram. Let's get those likes up. Let's get those subscriptions up. so we can get to the mass majority of the people in the world.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hit all them socials, y'all. Hit all them socials. Come on. That it? All right, y'all. Y'all be safe. Y'all stay in the spirit. Okay, Lord's will life last. We ain't nothing going on. Yeah, we should be back next week. We'll do I don't want to call it part 2, but we're gonna continue on with this same theme and the same topic. I still got a lot left. We gotta get deep into the scripts and show you the biblical origins of it, and then the covenant that was made for all Israel that we got to obtain together. All right. So with that, we say shalom. Most High Christ bless you.
Shalom. Most High Christ bless.
This for the Southern Kingdom, Kwam Yasharallah. Hey, one nation, one nation. This for the Northern Kingdom, Viva la Raza. We one nation, one nation. This for the Southern Kingdom, Kwam Yasharallah. Hey, one nation, one nation. This for the Northern Kingdom, Viva la Raza. We one nation, one nation. It wouldn't be Israel without Mexicans. Black love, brown pride, cause we next to kin. We ain't gotta tell Esau to let's be friends, cause we above all nations and we better than them. We the salt of the earth, ayy, ayy. And we been king since birth.